Stays dry, he may have a go at this lap record. Let's see what he can do. But here he comes. It's the 600 brake horsepower gold hill-climb chassis with a Judd Formula 1 engine in the back of it, the Red Bull car. That's it there, weaving around and coming up to the final corner. Missing Jonathan Files, we've just been told from the front row of the grid, his gearbox problems this morning, rebuilding it and didn't get out there, which is a shame. Jonathan Files was closest to it, well, still a fair bit off, but he did a good time, 51.1 this morning. And he reckoned there was a little bit more left in it. Files had that car mapped and he's well up over 500 brake horsepower for the first time this season. He's given us all the entertainment, but the big thing here is to see if we can get a new Boss Ireland lap record or a new outright lap record from Sylvie Mullins. Hill climb tyres on, soft, sticky slicks. I asked him would they last the race. He said he doesn't care whether they last the race or not. He cares about the lap time. He's in great form, all smiles. Said the car is completely hooked up. That new front wing you can see is from a 0.5 Williams Formula 1 car. He's tested it and he said the car is turning in much better. He's much more front end grip with the car than he had before. And he's doing a lot of work. Good group around him. Great bunch of guys working on the car, and they would just love to have a go at the lap record here at Mondello Park.
Yeah, and when they were on their warm-up laps, Leo, I noticed that in turn 3, the marshals were showing the lack of adhesion flags both in the entry and exit of the corner. So maybe it rained a little bit heavier over there.
Getting ready to go. It's Greenan on the second row of the grid. Missing Aaron Gorkin as well. Green. Oh, Sylvie stalled, hand in the air. Hopefully nobody collects him. Somebody else stalled in the back as well. The Dempsey possibly gets going. So Sylvie Mullins hasn't got going. So I wonder if they can get that car started. Hopefully they can. We really wanted to see that happen, but just caught him out. Just a quick jerk when it moved away and stopped. So Sylvie Mullins, there he is, sitting on the grid. They're going to push start it. That's Martin Daly there already. Some officials there too, having a quick chat with him. Brought the starter up. Yellow flags. Yellow flags are out. Looks like safety car. They're thinking about scrambling the safety car below us here. No red flags. Yeah, red flags are out. The red flags are out as they come back round us again.
I'm presuming
there's the red flags. I just see them there in the start finish line. Sorry, Jim.
I'm presuming that the wing is so expensive, Leo, that you probably couldn't push on it.
I don't know. It would have plenty of strength because they generate so much downforce. The back wings on these single-seater cars tend to be quite strong, and you can push on them actually. But not something I'd want to do, just in case I got it wrong. But somebody off. That's Shane Rabbit's off. Well off. He did a long grass. He's not happy at all. Banging the steering wheel. That's not like Shane. Probably firing around trying to get a bit of heat. That's turn 3, but he's well off there. It's the way back up out of turn 3. It looks like he's gone off. Yeah. I hope can he get back going? Somebody going out to help him anyway. Not like Shane. Great car control normally in that car, but maybe he's trying to get a bit of heat in the tyres, or maybe he's compromised on the way out of turn 3. Who knows? So, can they restart Sylvie Mullins' car? I suspect they probably can down here below us. Just having a quick chat with the pit crew there. So the grid is Sylvie Mullins. It should be Jonathan Files alongside him, as we said, but Jonathan Files didn't make it to the grid. Then Tony Greenan in the ex-Cian Carey car. Sylvie's car has started. Oh no, he's going to start from the pit lane, is he? It looks like Sylvie Mullins' car is being brought back into the pit lane. It's certainly running there now, but they're pushing it back into the pit lane. So Sylvie Mullins' car being pushed back into the pit lane. As we said, we don't have Jonathan Files on the front row. We don't have Sylvie now on the front row either. So Tony Greenan in his newly acquired Formula 3 car will effectively start from pole position. Aaron Cochrane's not alongside him in his World Series by Dallara because he was off this morning and did some damage, unfortunately. But Fergus Fardy will be loving this one. Fergus Fardy, a former class champion, and he's in with a shout at the championship today. Sylvie only needs a finish, but Fergus needs to win the race. But all of a sudden, it's looking better for him. He's effectively in second place on the grid now. No, they're letting Sylvie go back to the grid, I think. They're going to do a restart. So he's been pushed back by the team. Okay, good stuff. So we will get a race of it. So Sylvie Mullins, Tony Greenan is going to be the order. Then it will be Fergus Fardy. Alongside Fergus Fardy, watch out for Eamon Matheson. Incredibly quick off the line in that Jade single-seater or sports car with a turbocharged Honda engine. One of the most powerful cars on the grid. He makes incredible starts. Then Michael Roach in the F3 car. Roland Doherty going really well alongside him. I met Roland's parents, hadn't seen them in a long time. James and Miriam, great to see them here in the paddock, and they were saying that he's changed the gearing on the car quite a lot. And look at that, he's well up the grid. Roland Doherty on the right-hand side of the white Formula 3 car. Not a state-of-the-art car, a little bit older, but he's really enjoying driving it, Roland. And his big smile when I was talking to him in the pit lane there at lunchtime, wondering whether it was going to rain or not. So after that is Daniel Faherty and Michael Connolly. And then behind them is Mark Dempsey and Tom Cochrane. We don't have Shane Rabbit. Can Shane Rabbit get recovered? towing that car away, but whether they restarted or not, I don't know. Let's see. I think that's possibly what we're waiting for here, but it's taking them a while to get it hooked up for some reason. Oh, there we go. Those Mazda pickup snatch vehicles are always on the scene pretty quickly. Yeah, they've got it going. Let's see if we can pop the clutch. Hasn't taken his helmet off, so if there's a chance he'll get going. Front wing looks like it's still intact. Wouldn't be built for rough terrain, this machine. Shane absolutely loves having to go with the F3 cars in that Renault. That Renault would be in relative terms, quite a cheap car to buy and run. They're great cars, and they have won races outright and championships outright indeed in the class. But a lot of more modern Formula 3 machinery has arrived since then. But Shane was up amongst them last time out in the Deliverate car. And I wonder, can he drop? Barry's with me. Barry, can he drop the clutch? Is there any way of starting that car when it's rolling?
Yeah, just pop the clutch if there's nothing too far wrong with it. So I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet, or maybe he has and he's just keeping it under power. So he's on the back of the snatch vehicle because he can't drive past him. He's still connected one way or the other. But I don't know. Look like they're bringing it back into pit lane, so I might have to run down and give him a hand.
Well, hopefully they'll get that going, but if there's any way at all, I'm sure Shane will take. Barry is heading for the pit lane, it looks like. Hopefully he'll come back up to us before this one's out. But yeah, we should be getting ready to go. So everybody else is ready to go. Shane, are they going to bring Shane in the pit lane? Hopefully he can start from the pit lane. I'm not sure. The officials will know the regulations far better than I.
Well, I'm presuming there'll be an extra warm-up lap. So if there is, maybe he can start because it'll be a whole new race. He'll be able to start from his original position if he can do the warm-up lap.
There we go, there's a car coming in the pit lane. You can hear the klaxon being activated, automatic when any car comes in the pit lane to warn the pit crews that there's a car coming. So fingers crossed he'll be able to pump the clutch and get it going. Okay, the cars are being started on the grid and we're getting ready to go. There's Dan Daly down there too. Starting rig being brought back in from Sylvie Mullen's car, which is running absolutely fine. So Sylvie gets the second bite of the cherry and we get the entertainment. So let's see, it's good conditions. Jim, I think that track, well, I don't know, it's not fully dry at the S's there, is it just yet? But it's cold and it's sunny, and that's what you want, really. The green flag is being waved for a warm-up lap. This is not the race, it's a warm-up lap. Sylvie got away again. Somebody else this time, Fergus Fardy, but he gets going. Good stuff. We're all away. So there's Sylvie now down towards the first corner. What he'll be doing is he'll be on and off the power, trying to get heat into the brakes. He'll be weaving around, looking to get as much heat as he can into these soft, sticky tyres that he has on. As I said earlier, he said he's got sticky hill climber sprint tyres on. Whether they last the race or not, he neither knows nor cares. He wants to chase the lap record. That lap he did this morning is incredible. I never thought I would see anybody round in 49 seconds around Mondello Park. But Sylvie's done it. I'm happy to say that out of shot, Shane Rabbit has got going and is coming down the pit lane, so he will join the fray and he will go chasing F3 cars shortly in the little Formula Renault. Now he's going to start from the pit lane, it looks like, with no warm-up lap. The pallet storage.ie car down below us here. It's car number 77. There he is, Shane Wright. Great to see a good crowd in the pit lane as well. A lot of support for these drivers and a packed paddock today in the grandstand as well. So great to see it. Here they come. Formula Boss Ireland, sponsored by Finstown House Hotel, who of course are helping us today, as you can see by their logo on the bottom left, and they're helping us with the live stream today with See It Live. So thanks very much to the staff and management there at Finstown House, Finstown Castle Hotel actually. Here they come now up towards the final corner.
And I'm not sure, Leo, that Sylvie's going to be able to manage to beat that lap record. The lack of adhesion flag was shown to the drivers again on the warm-up lap down in turn 3, so not sure what that's about. There could be some fluids down there, or maybe it just rained a little heavier. Yeah,
it's funny you should say that, because the fact that Shane Rabbit's massively experienced and is known for having good car control, for him to go around, I wonder is there a bit of oil or something down there, which is a shame. But Sylvie will have taken all that in. He's well experienced, massively successful hill climber as well, so he should be like a rocket off the line. But Tony Greenan will be also having to go. There's Barry Rabbit and Keith Rabbit down with Shane below us here, just making sure there's no grass in the air vents. The 5-second board is up. We're getting ready to go. Shane will have to wait till everybody else goes by. There's the grid. There's our pole man, and he gets away this time beautifully. Sylvie Mullins leads down into turn 1. The roar of Eamon Matheson as he comes down the outside, but Greenan should be able to repel him. Indeed he is. Big lock up on the inside.
And just watching the Shane Rabbit's machine exit the pit lane, Leo, half the grass from turn 3 fell out of it.
So Greenan now in second place, trying to hang on to Sylvie, but there's where we saw the flag earlier. So yeah, Sylvie's slowing down quite a bit there just to get into it. He'll just want to get a feel for the track before he pushes really hard. That's Tony Greenan, sideways Tony Greenan coming up out of turn 3, and that's Who's that in third place? I think that's Michael Roach from well back on the grid. It is another Michael Roach charge. We've seen a few of them before. This is great stuff. The first three coming through the S's together. Sylvie, of course, trying to get everything up to temperature here before he has a go. But Tony Green would love to mug him early on, wouldn't he?
I tell you, the tyres look like they're very cold. There's a lot of movement on those cars early on.
Yeah, just watch this car in a straight line. Listen to it. There it goes. 4 litre, 600 brake horsepower. Great sound as he goes by the tower here. And look at the lead he opens up just on the main straight that time round. Fantastic stuff from Sylvie. And that's the two pesky F3 cars swatted like a fly on the main straight. Tony Green in sideways there. He stands on the power, tries to get it going. Roland Doherty in the mix there. But the two F3 cars looks like they'll have a battle of their own. That's the ex-Keane Carey car, state of the art. Pretty modern F3 car that Tony Green is driving, but he's only just bought that from Aaron Cochran. And Roach's car wouldn't be right up there just yet. But Barry, what do you think about this? Do you think the F3 cars can hang on to him?
Yeah, it's the right conditions. Leo's still a bit greasy out there, and Sylvie won't be able to use all of that power, but he is already pulling a few lengths by the looks of it.
Yeah, I don't know if we can see a 49. It doesn't look there just yet. But then there's sunshine out there. The track looks like it's in fantastic condition as they come up towards. It's Michael Connolly and Fergus Fardy, is it? Yeah, Fergus Fardy needs to get by quickly. He needs to get towards the front here and get up before those F3 cars get away, Barry.
Well, 51.9 from Sylvie, only getting it going. So that's a good omen, I would suggest, at a change of position there, Leo, and down at the first corner between the two F3s.
Yeah, Michael Roach, that's a great move. Michael Roach has been great this year, Barry, hasn't he? He's a great charger.
Michael's always been a great driver, and he has the equipment now this year. Very fast, very committed. But just look at the extra aero working on Tony's car into the first bit of the country there.
Yeah, Tony's adapted that car pretty quickly. Coming from a sports car into something like that would be completely different.
Tony's never raced before, Leo, on top of that. This is his maiden season of, I suppose, proper racing. He's done a lot of sprints and stuff, but wheel to wheel, this is very new to him. Yeah,
but he's jumped from a Radical, hasn't he, a sports car? He did the first half of the season and then jumped into this F3 car. He looks quicker, doesn't he, there, Barry?
Definitely quicker. And Roach is overly defensive up there. He's going to get loose out and a run out of the corner, but won't be much in a straight line. A big sideways. F3s don't like that.
No, they do not.
Yeah, very twitchy, a lot of grip, but not a car that you throw around in that sense. It's the F3s, and with grip brakes on them, any of these single seaters, especially the smaller ones, they're very, very nimble, but not really set up to go sideways.
50.7 for Sylvie Mullins, just a 10th off Paul O'Connell's Boss Ireland lap record, but it's the outright one he wants today. I have a feeling he'll get the Boss one, Barry, another lap or two.
Yeah, so of course, don't forget, every lap the tyres will go off another little bit, so he has to do it early, or maybe he might be able to, if he gets a big enough lead, regroup and have another go. In fact, he's going very slowly.
Wrong there.
On the way up, no, we can see it out the window, not on screen just at the moment, but maybe Sylvie's just winding it up for another one, Leo.
Maybe he's exactly what he's doing. No, very slowly on the main straight, Sylvie Mullins.
Yeah, that's I thought he might be just regrouping, but there's no advantage in going slow down the straights from a tyre point of view. So I would suggest that's maybe something a little bit more serious.
Big shame there. I wonder if Harley's crawling around just to get the heat back early in the tyres. Would he hardly do that when the F3 cars are behind him, would he, Barry?
Not on the straights, Leo. Through the corners I can understand it, but I don't see the point of it going down the straights. You don't really take any life out of the tyres, even with 6 of them now. Look at him, he stopped.
That's for the lead.
Relatively speaking. I say he stopped. He's still probably cornering quicker than the Tory car and everything else, but relative to the capabilities, he's definitely slowed it down.
Michael Roach just leads. This F3 battle is now for the lead of the Finstown Castle Hotel Formula Boss Ireland race. That's some mouthful. And Roach leading it now from Tony Greenan.
Tony Greenan in second with the flame-spitting F317. So that's a 2017 car, the orange one. And it's, I believe it's 2007, so a good decade between them. Now Tony has a look to the left. Not much in a straight line. In fact, the older car of Michael Roach quicker, if anything.
Yeah, he's going to have to use the head here and get a run through turn 2 or through the second bit of the S's bar. He used that aero, isn't he?
Yeah, I think try and get him on the way out of the turn 3, which they're heading to now. If he can get him to go defensive on the way in, get the wide line, get alongside, and try and make it stick through the S's and pull a car length or two.
Sylvie Mullins still running, but a 109. The reason he's still running, Barry, is for the championship.
Well, he's the championship round up, I believe. Or very close.
Stuck in gear, maybe, is it? Yeah. Looks like he's got gear selection issues. Here they come down into the S's now.
Yeah, nowhere really Tony can go. He's
a bit too close there, Barry, possibly, is he?
He'd probably be better off sitting back and doing just this now and trying to get the ages, because Michael is quite defensive coming out of the S's, which is slowing him. So maybe Tony needs to have a little sit back, as you say, Leo, and get that run out of there and have a look up into
Good
Southside
exit this
corners.
time though, he's right under the gearbox, but as you said, there's no difference in a straight line. He's not going to get much of a tow. Roach goes to the inside, Greenan to the outside. Michael Roach doing a good defensive job here, but I think Greenan is going to have to hang back somewhere and have a go, Barry.
Yeah, and look at the lap times, Leo, 55s and 54s. That's 3 to 4 seconds off what both guys are capable of.
Fergus Fardy in the 53s, he's catching them big time.
Yeah, they're holding each other up here, and Michael Roach is just basically stopping it on the apex and making sure that you see it there. Look at the way the second car of Greenan's closes right up, but he can't drive through him. He has to find a way around it. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, if he slowed down a bit here and got the run through the second bit, yes, look at the flames spitting from the back of Tony Greenan's car on the way into the S's there. But again, he's too close to get a run here, I think.
Yeah, he's a little bit better at that, but look how little of the exit that Michael Roach is using there, and that's making him slow up, but he's more conscious about covering the inside line up into the corner on now south side. But if Tony could learn from that, he might do something.
There, Barry, he just scrubbed off too much speed coming out and lost himself a lot of time. Side by side now. Oh no, the back marker, he had to tuck back in behind him. Fergus Fardy will be loving this. Go at it there, boys. Keep doing that.
Yeah, because that time around, though there wasn't much in on that time, just a couple of tenths, but yeah, definitely as long as these keep squabbling, Fergus will be all over. Big dice down the start finish line here between a couple of sports cars and the F3s and Renault. So it's happening all through the field, not just what we're looking at, but Greenan again looking up high. He needs to slow it down now and try and get the undercut, but Michael's so relatively slow on the apex that just leaves Greenan nowhere to go.
I can tell you off screen is still circulating, but very slowly. Well, in relative terms, you can see that at 108. That's about 18 seconds slower than he went this morning, and 21 seconds slower. Yeah. Oh, a big run out of the S's there. That's what we spoke about. But actually, Roach saw that coming and went defensive early. He was a bit too defensive here, I would have thought last time round.
That's Fergus Fardy, Leo. Yeah, that's Fergus pulling to a halt.
Well, if Fergus pulls to a halt, Sylvie Mullins is the champion, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, Fergus, we see out the window here off screen, he's pulling in to a stop, so something, there we go.
There it is.
He's coming to a complete stop. If he can't get that car a little bit safer than where it is, it might be a safety car.
Yeah, if white flag is out for show a slow moving car, but it's actually going to stop on the track. He's heading for the rallycross track, but I don't know if he can make it.
That's got to be a safety car, I'd say. That's too dangerous. The cars are arriving there 100 and something mile an hour, and it's a blind crest as you approach, so I suggest that's going to be a tricky one.
Here's the leaders again. They're just going by the car. You're right there, Barry. Not a nice place to have your car stranded, but it's Michael Roach still hanging on ahead of Tony Greenan in this F3 battle out front. The newer car just cannot get a run at the older car. Clearly quicker, but uber defensive and doing a great job as Michael Roach out front, and Tony Greenan running out of answers here, Barry.
Yeah, this is getting here, looking off screen again, but it's that car of Fergus Fardy's is really dangerous position. I know from a driver's point of view it looks grand, but you're sitting 18 inches, your eye line is 18 inches off the ground, and what looks like a little undulation of the ground is a hill when you're in the car, and that's all just the wrong side of it, unfortunately. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Hopefully nothing untoward happens. You see Fergus extract himself from the car.
That's a shame. Fergus would have been in with a shout. Well, he would have brought the championship to the next race possibly, but by not finishing, that means Sylvie's going to win it. I thought Greenan was going to chance to look around the outside. There was a gap there, Barry.
It's so tempting, especially when the car in front is relatively slow compared to your own pace in the corner. I'm saying that's Michael Roach purposely being slow. That's not that he doesn't have the speed. He's positioning the car in such a way.
There.
Yeah, big
that
lift
might have
there.
shown Tony Greenan what would happen if he was back by a length or two. Easy for us to say, Barry.
Oh yeah.
But he's got massive speed advantage through the second bit of the S's. Oh, good run out of there. Maybe
he's
too
alongside now. He's alongside now down the start finish straight. There's nothing in it. Michael Roach pulling a little bit of a car length. Greenan's on the wrong side, though. He's going to have to go very late in the brakes and hanging around the outside, which all of a sudden you'll see Michael Roach able to go quicker than he has been previously. And it just leaves Tony with nowhere to go there.
Roland Doherty, 55-1 up to 4th place overall. That's great stuff from Roland Doherty. He's changed the gearing in the car, Barry, and found loads of time. But he's ahead of it. That's a pretty old F3 car.
That is. It's in the early 2000s or 90s, I believe. And now look at that. Sylvie's car is flying again. He just goes underneath us, so he mightn't be in the hunt for a podium. Yes. A good bit of battling going on there for 4th, 5th and 6th as well, but obviously all eyes on the front between Tony Greenan and Michael Roach through Southside corners, and Michael's just doing the same thing over and over again.
Yes, Groundhog Day coming down the main. We're looking for Sylvie Mullins though here, Barry. You're not sure where he is on track, but my ears are telling me that Sylvie Mullins is back up to speed.
He is indeed, Leo. Yeah, he's there coming through the S's.
He's coming here now. Watch the screen. Watch the top of the screen.
That's the second
Rabbit.
car,
Look at
Shane
Sylvie
Rabbit.
now. He's back on form.
And Shane's going to defend
Shane's
anyway.
gonna defend
I don't
again.
care if you have 600 brake and I have 200. You're not coming by me that easy. You'll have to wait till the straights of Shane, and he stops it on the apex with Sylvie nowhere to go as they come down to start finish. Now there's what 400 braking the difference does to you.
Okay, 58, so that's 10 seconds quicker than he was going before. Let's see if Sylvie can get back up to speed. There he is. Great stuff to see it live. Guys have found him. We didn't know where he was on the track, but all of a sudden you could hear the car back on cam and going again. I don't know, was he stuck in a gear or what the problem was? But it's a great F3 battle up front and in the background. Watch, you can see it there at the top left of your screen. You see the lap times, so watch out for Sylvie's lap. Sylvie's up to 5th place now. Shane Rabbit's up to 6th, and he started from the pit lane.
Leo, sorry to interrupt you, but a lot of times they're saying that Sylvie has just set a new boss record of a 50.2. 50.2. We might have missed it. Maybe that was his plan all along. And now we've the safety
car's out.
A few laps after the actual car stopped, but it's there now. So yeah, I'm seeing on the lap board here behind us that new lap record for Boss Ireland in Sylvie Mullins, 50.2.
I think what's happened there, Barry, is there's only a couple of laps in those tyres, and I think that's why he backed it right off. He doesn't want the race win, especially now that he's seen Fergus Farady's car parked up. He is now the Boss champion.
Absolutely.
He wants the lap record. And that's what was going on there. I didn't think he'd slow down that much, but obviously he wanted the tyres really cool again.
Well, I've used similar tyres to what Sylvie's on for qualifying, and even on my Formula Renault, which would be a third of the power of what Sylvie's putting through the back wheels, by the end of one flying lap, the rear tyres are letting go. So it really is one lap wonders, proper qualifiers from the 80s.
Well, I'm not sure if Shane is one of the many people that are heading for an ace after this, the final ICCR meeting, but we'll have to give him dogs abuse, telling him he cost us an outright lap record with that defensive manoeuvre. That was Sylvie on his second flying lap, having broken the boss one the lap before. I'm only joking, of course. Shane giving us great entertainment, but Sylvie Mullins, obviously the car back on form, so this will be interesting now.
So
he'll be in traffic now, I think, when they get going, because he's going to come right up to the back of the cars in front.
So we have a checkered flag, have we? Yeah, we have the so unfortunately it's going to end under the checkered flag with Michael Roach taking the win from Tony Greenan in second. Third is Michael Connolly in the Radical for Sports Car Home. There's the new lap record holder, Sylvie Mullins, making his way across the line with Shane Rabbit just behind in sixth.
Well, Roland's already in 4th place. That's a good drive. That's a very good drive. And Roland's folks are here. I spoke to them at lunchtime, and they'll be absolutely, the Adair family, be absolutely delighted with that one. And I was speaking to Roland at lunchtime, and he has changed the gearing a little bit on that car, and he's found some time. But he worked it well there, didn't he? He's ahead of Sylvie Mullins, Shane Rabbit, Daniel Faraday, and all the rest. So, great entertainment. Not what we were hoping for an outright lap record. They are back on track later on, and there's nothing wrong with Sylvie's car. 50.220 is a new Boss Ireland lap record, Barry.
100 off the outright lap record. 50 point. So just to get it into the books, it's 50.231 for Sylvie, and set just there a few minutes ago. Lap record is 50.220. So 11 thousandths.
Thanks, Shane.
If I'm right, yeah. Well done, Shane.
No, I jest. But
ironically, probably the second lap, the tyres were probably gone, as I said earlier.
I wonder if Nigel Greensall tuned in from the UK, hoping his lap record won't be broken.
Well,
that he set in 1997 in a Formula 1 car here at Mondello Park.
He might be getting a little bit worried and looking in on the second race because, of course, every lap the tyres do, they're getting that bit older and a little bit of pace goes, but I mean, it's 11 thousandths. You can't even imagine how little that is.
Fantastic stuff. And well done to Michael Roach. That was a great drive from him, and a good aggressive start. Got himself up there, and then really good job to hold back a clearly quicker car of Tony Green in there. But I think he read what was happening, Barry. He was slow in all the right places. When I say slow, just a little bit slower to put the power on and stopping the car at the apex. We say stopping the car, that's racer terminology. You actually just slow the car down the corner in order that the car behind you can't get a run. And he did that to perfection. So that's a well-deserved race win by Mick Roach there.
You're just trying to break the momentum. If the chasing car has this choice of line, so he can come in from a higher side, let's say if it's a right-hander, he can come in further to the left to minimise his angle, and therefore he can be faster through the corner, but that's a moot point. If there's a car stopped in front of you, you can only be as fast as the car in front. So that's what Michael was doing by slowing down on the apex, or stopping it on the apex, as Leo says, and just arresting that kind of momentum.
There's the trigonometry lesson for Barry
There you
Rabbit.
go.
The Pythagoras is tearing up there, coming out of the S's. Is what saved him.
Maybe if I listened in maths, I wouldn't have to figure it all out on the racetrack. If someone do it for me.
If the teachers had related it to motor racing, Barry, we would have got 8+.
We would have been all right. We actually might have went to school.
There's Sylvie Mullins. That's your new lap record holder for Boss Ireland, and he's only a fraction off the outright one. And look at the team; they're delighted with this. They've worked really hard. They started the car up, Barry, on Friday morning to warm it up before testing, and the oil pump failed. First of all, they thought they might have done engine damage. Luckily, they hadn't. Then they couldn't get an oil pump. There's Fergus Vardy, who's brought the fight all the way to the last round. So hopefully they get that car back running again. Fergus hasn't really had the car to his liking in the last few rounds, Barry. He was getting quicker and quicker and quicker, and last round he just didn't have that pace, and then today it's given him trouble.
Yeah,
again.
well,
Such a shame.
they've kind of, I think they went down a little bit of a set-up cul-de-sac earlier in the year, and they're kind of gone back to basics for the last few races from talking to Fergus. So he was kind of back to square one earlier in the year. So good to see him up there. That's an ex-Carlin Motorsports, a proper car. 2017 F3 would have been raced by people we now watch in Formula 1 not that long ago.
So we're going racing again already, and it's Future Classics next up. The Irish Auto Parts.ie Future Classic car. Now we spoke about this earlier. That's pretty much run what you brung, as you can see. Any car you want. There's a Punto Abarth up front. Barry heading back down to the paddock. Thanks very much, Barry. Might see you later on for Boss Race 2. So as we said, there's Punto Abarth, the BMW 3 Series, Honda Civic, Renault Clio, Mazda MX-5, loads of different cars. Watch out for Tomas O'Rourke, name very well known to us at Mondello Park, in the Slaney View Motors Honda rally car. Found it a little bit too high and heavy last time out, but he's been fiddling with the car since, and he reckoned he was pretty close to the barrier time, so let's see how he can do later on. So it's Gary Duggan on pole position in this one in the Punto Abarth. Ger Byrne alongside him in the 3 Series BMW. Richard Shattuck, who went so well in the yellow Honda Civic. Then Paul Flanagan in the Clio Sport alongside him. Eugene McCann, Jeannie Mack as he's known, in the MX-5. Daniel McDonald, local man. Punto Abarth again. Tomas O'Rourke in the Honda. Aidan Byrne, watch out for Aidan Byrne. He's done loads of winning. I don't know if he's won the championship, but certainly he will be very close to it. There's Jeannie Mack sideways getting a bit of heat in the tyres. There's Tomas O'Rourke in the Civic. Well known. There's Aidan Byrne. Aidan Byrne was involved in setting up this class and also done a lot of it. There's the giant killer, David Hammond in the little Uno. Raymond Melia, Keane O'Brien 555 in the newly built Mini. Then in the more standard classes, Gilbert Clancy, Donald Cullity and Stephen Healy. So 2 classes, most of them are in the faster class. This is what they call the Super Future Classics class. And then 3 cars in the slower, normal Future Classics class. So they've got a barrier time, I think, of 109, whereas 107 is the barrier for the second, for the main guys. Gary Duggan very close to it in qualifying, 107.1. The reason they run a barrier time is to keep costs down. There's no point in spending big money on your car. They don't really have technical restrictions, but there's no point in putting fast stuff in your car or cams or anything like that, because the car will just break the barrier time. So they generally tend to level off around the barrier time. That's why you've got such a different mix of cars. The MX-5 right in there too, rear wheel drive car on the third row of the grid. Ger Byrne rear wheel drive on the outside of the front row with the BMW. All the rest coming up the hill now for the Irish Auto Parts.ie Future Classics Racing. Once again, a big thanks to Finstown Castle Hotel for helping us out today and allowing us to stream this, the final round. I said in the intro this morning there was going to be great racing. I wasn't lying. We've had great racing all day. In fact, we've had great racing all season long. It's almost like the drivers and classes have responded to the new promotion this year at Mondello Park. I met a few of the drivers at lunchtime. They're just saying it's great. It's a nice place to be. They're really enjoying the racing. A little bit of a buzz back around the paddock again. So hopefully we can continue that on. It's been a great initial year for the ICCR, and moving into year 2 we'll be hoping to improve on that again. It's great to see you here, and well done to everybody involved at Mondello Park as well. So a full grid of varied cars, Jim. 10 seconds every time you break it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you will, somebody probably will break. Oh, look at the MX-5. That's Eugene McCann, Jeannie Mack, rockets off the line, but I think he might have got boxed in a little bit there, the little yellow and black MX-5. So Duggan it is from Shattuck, I think. Indeed it is. Oh, I gave him the commentator's curse. Jeannie Mack locks up down the inside, connects with Daniel McDonald in the Punto. I think he's just done himself in there.
Yeah.
Commentator's curse for sure there, Jim. Hopefully he can get that car going again.
Hopefully.
Oh, rescue unit already there. The guys are on fire today. The marshals, the snatch unit's already down in turn 1. But up front, it's the Punto Abarth just holding off Shattuck, and the Civic is having a look up the inside. McDonald goes off. Just a local man. The back end got away on cold tyres. Couldn't quite hold it. He's the guy that got connected down into turn 1. I don't mean connected in a mafia type way. I mean he got a little bit of contact from another car.
I wonder, did he get a puncture? Did he pick up
or a bit of toe out. Sometimes when you get a slap in a front wheel drive car, can toe the back out just a little bit and cut him out. But we'll have a look. But here come the leaders up towards us. Gary Duggan and Richard Shattuck. That's Paul Flanagan going defensive. He's got ahead of Ger Byrne in the big BMW. Great photo of these two going around on social media with Jer on the end of the rack at turn 2 and Paul Flanagan on 2 wheels behind him. Look at that. Well done to those guys, to the marshals and rescue crew, to get that car out of the way so quick. It's great to see.
That's fantastic.
Oh, safety car. Yeah, we had to do that probably just in case it didn't get away, but it was touch and go. We'll only get one lap, I would imagine, behind this safety car now, but that'll bunch them all back up again. They were already bunched up. This class is so tight. So, okay, let's recap. It's Gary Duggan leading this one. It's Richard Shattuck behind him in the Civic. There's that car of Eugene McCann being towed back in. That's such a shame. Northern Ireland visitor loves his trips down here, and it goes really, really well. And he'd made a cracking start. He did what we all did. I think went in a little bit late in the brakes, just couldn't get it stopped down the inside. That's the BMW safety car, flashing lights on the top of that. Once those flashing lights go out, it's a signal to the drivers and to us that we're going racing at the end of the lap. You want to drive that car, you can come down and drive that car down here, that actual car, BMW M2 competition. And if you're ever down on any experience days, it's not like they used to be a few years ago. You can give these cars a good spin around Mondello Park. They've got top professional instructors, and if they think you've got a little bit of car control, they'll let you have a real go. You can also have a go on a 430 Ferrari here at Mondello Park. 2 Porsche Caymans we've recently added to the fleet, and now the new rally experience, 2 Ford Focus STs, and the rally stage is really good fun. I had it going with myself. There's the BMW gone. William Kellett driving that, I think, at the weekend, peels off, and they're all asleep. They didn't stay near each other at all. I don't believe it. So Richard Shattuck there has probably cost himself a chance of a race win here, Jim, surely.
I think Gary Duggan's going to run away with it.
Yeah, they're miles apart from each other. Never understood that. There's Aidan Byrne. He's done well in the reshuffle as he gets up there in the Celica, trying to get alongside Byrne. But they're massive gaps. I don't think they were expecting to be released so early. Yeah. And in fairness to them, you won't see the lights in the car when you're 4th, 5th or 6th in a bright day like today. Yeah,
the sun is quite low as well. So.
I think they would have expected another lap, and they were just caught out there, which is absolute shame, because I thought they would have all bunched up, but Gary Duggan, the only one that didn't make a mistake. So he is now on the way out towards turn 3. Punto O'Bart's a hugely successful class here, manufacturer back in 02. It's a full grid of these cars, 26 of them, and still a few of them out there. We've got 2 of them in this race. 1800cc twin cam cars, somewhere around 140, 150 brake horsepower. Cocking the inside rear wheel as he throws it down into Bridgestone corner. First bit of the S's. Flanagan in 3rd, Ger Byrne in 4th, Aidan Byrne next up. There's Tomás O'Rourke, the man we spoke about, former national saloon car champion here at Mondello Park. His father was Frank O'Rourke, won over 100 races at Mondello Park here, and was involved in setting up Dealer Opel Team Ireland back in the day. In fact, I thought Richard Shattuck had cost himself a possible race win, but he's closed down Gary Duggan on that lap.
He has
need to keep an eye on the times though.
107, 1, Leo, is that a...
Yeah, no, you need to stay over 1.7, yeah.
Okay.
Or 107.
And it looks like Ger Byrne has broken the barrier time. It's a 106.9.
Yeah, that's 10 seconds for him. Actually, the timing guys are on top of that. When you see it within a lap, that'll be added to his time. You'll see him dropping down the order. So they do it in real time.
Shattuck's right on the back now of Gary Duggan.
Yeah, Shattuck's going nicely. A couple of race meetings ago, he had trouble with the car, but last meeting here, he was great. Duggan very defensive now and slowing them down coming out of the S. He must have watched the last race, maybe, Jim.
He want to be careful, because I think Shattuck was right on a 107 the last lap, and he could very easily break the barrier time.
Oh, they're bumper to bumper crossing the line now.
And he does. He's 106.7, so Shattuck has shot himself in the foot.
He certainly has. That's going to drop him well back. So Shattuck showing second place on your screen, but he's just earned himself a 10-second penalty. That's put him back to 4th place already. We can see it on the screen. That puts Flanagan up to 2nd, then Tomás O'Rourke up to 3rd place. There it is in the top left. It's already taken effect. If you're under 107 dead, you get yourself a 10-second penalty. And that keeps going, Jim. So if you do it again, 10 more seconds. Yeah, it's something that some people weren't fond of when it started initially, you know, the barrier time, but it's balanced itself out, and it has done what they said it would do. It stopped people spending big money on cars. These cars, none of them are expensive to buy. So Shattuck's still looking to have a go by. Duggan going through the S's. The car getting the hops there.
If Duggan is any pit crew, he should...
not allowed.
Oh, no,
not allowed pit signals in this, or lap timers.
All right, okay.
Yeah, you've got to guess. Yeah, so here they come. It's not a matter of guessing. They test really well and they know where the timing is, what they have to rev it to. Put a lot of work into this, these guys. Some of them even run a little bit of weight in the cars or something to slow them, to bring them back to where they need to be. But generally, the car isn't capable of much more. They're pushing quite hard. Now Duggan goes in too late in the brakes, gets the hops. Shattuck pressurised him into that mistake. That's good driving from Shattuck. He just went down the inside, made him go in way too late, and I'd probably seen that car getting the. Oh, Duggan, has he got a bit in reserve? Just drove up alongside him there. Had to back out of it, but I'm not sure where that pace came from all of a sudden out of turn 2. But Shattuck doing really well here. Now he has got the barrier. Remember, he's broken the barrier, so Ger Byrne getting sideways in the background once again. Ger Byrne's BMW tends to cook its back tyres, which we love because you get loads of opposite lock, and Ger well able to drive it. Shattuck now locking a rear wheel as the Punto apart, all over right up onto 2 wheels for Duggan there. First 2 still together as they come through the S's out of Irish Ferries. Ger Byrne gets a good run right out to the curb to try and get by Flanagan.
Oh, a big lock up there by Shattuck into Southside.
Yeah, Duggan trying to get a run on him. Together down the straight now. 7 minutes still to go on this one. It's nowhere near over just yet. So the championship, we're told, is between Aidan Byrne and Paul Flanagan with 21 points between them. And Paul Flanagan is ahead of Aidan Byrne at the moment. So Aidan with a bit of work to do. Oh, look at this.
And Ger Byrne's broken the lap time again,
Oh,
Leo.
that's contact. That's heavy contact there from... that's very odd. Just not a nice place to get a shove on the way into turn 3, but Duggan seems...
Pushing him now.
Yeah, he's got a lot in advance there. Just going through turn 2, he seems to just open it. Look at this. Yeah, well, there you go. I'm not sure what happened there, but I wouldn't be liking to get a shove down into the first apex of turn 3. That's not a nice place to unsettle the rear of a car. And he's damaged the back now of Shattuck's car up front, Duggan. Shattuck goes to the inside, Duggan goes with him, then goes back to the outside, tries to get outside in the brakes. Let's see if he can use this straight line power that he's using out the back. As they come out of the last corner, he's got up the inside. Yeah, he's got loads more in a straight line there. Duggan with a 7.5. The lap wasn't that quick, but certainly just opened the taps there and drove by the Honda on the way back in. It'd probably be a relief for Shattuck there not to get that happening again down into turn 3. But less said about that, the better. Flanagan in third place. Oh, Ger Byrne getting sideways, but he's under pressure now from Aidan Byrne, who's come from well back. And Aidan Byrne's going to need to get by. In fact, we're showing David Hammond up there, so maybe Aidan Byrne's got a penalty as well.
Yeah, Leo, he did. He
did, yeah. Yeah, Ger Byrne has had a penalty, Aidan Byrne has had a penalty, so they're all pushing a little bit too hard here.
A few of them in the 106s.
You see, the problem is that generally they'll do 107s, early 107s, but the track seems to be in tip-top condition today, Jim. It just happens sometimes. Lap records are being broken everywhere, really quick lap times.
That's a Duggan better be careful because he's right on the limit every time. He's a 107.1 on nearly every lap.
Yeah, let's see this when they come out onto the main straight. Shattuck trying out right out onto the curbs there, try and get a run. No way he's getting a run. The Punto clearly quicker now in a straight line. Just opens it up again as they go by. 7-2, 7-2 again, both doing 7. So Flanagan up to second place now. Shattuck showing in fourth, Tomas O'Rourke showing in third. So those two cars at the back of the group have had a penalty. That's the drifting Ger Byrne, and right behind him Aidan Byrne. So the championship is between Aidan Byrne, remember, and Paul Flanagan in the little Clio. And Flanagan is doing it all correctly. He's in second place overall. Don't know if that'll give him enough points to close it down. Certainly, we've got a second race later on. Shattuck with a better run through turn 3 there, but he certainly hasn't got it in a straight line. But the Punto, if pushed at all, gets the hops. Looks very uncomfortable, Jim.
Yeah, a bit of a boat locking up there into the left-hander at the back of the paddock, swinging right, and Shattuck, he looks like he's lining them up for a run at Southside.
Flanagan getting closer to them.
And Shattuck has a go at that move up the inside, but it doesn't actually work out. He gives Duggan a little kiss, and will that do some damage to the Punto?
Oh, Aidan Byrne's got by. Look at that at the bottom of your screen. Aidan Byrne down the inside. I tell you something, that's a good move in that big Celica, because that'll be a big tank of a car to get stopped on the brakes. But he took a dive down the inside of Ger Byrne. Ger Byrne gave him racing room. Shattuck having another look down the inside now. And getting very racy, but Duggan just staying on the brakes, and Flanagan won't want to get involved in this one. The order is on the top left of your screen there. Gary Duggan is leading this one after penalties from Flanagan, Tomas O'Rourke, Shattuck, Aidan Byrne. Oh, David Hammond and Little Uno now showing ahead of Aidan Byrne, as is Daniel McDonald. So Aidan Byrne may have got himself another penalty there. Donald Cullenty ninth, and he's leading the Future Classics class, the non-Super Future Classics class. He's got a beautifully prepared Civic Coupe, and he's done really well this year in that class.
And it looks like Duggan's making the break for it again on this lap. He's pulled maybe a half a second over Shattuck, but in third position is Thomas O'Rourke, and Thomas.
He's actually dropped well back from this group, but he hasn't broken the barrier time. Here's Duggan now. There's Aidan Byrne again defending. Great stuff. And Ger Byrne right behind him. Championship contenders. Oh, Shattuck is off on the exit of the corner. Just gets it back on. He's done a little bit of grass cutting there. Is that going to be a breaker for Duggan? Surely it'll be near the barrier time. No, 107.4. So he's safe enough, even though he pulled away a long way there. 8-1 for Flanagan. 8 dead for Tomas O'Rourke. 8-4 for Shattuck. 7-3 for Aidan Byrne. Aidan Byrne is easing forward without breaking the barrier time. He's broken it already, but he's fighting back. Shattuck now getting attacked by Paul Flanagan. Oh, Flanagan's going to go right round the outside. Surely the Clio's a bit taily for that. I think he thinks the same. Not really a day for that, is it? Oh, now they're the championship contenders together on track, Jim. The Clio and the Celica, the two cars fighting it out for the Irish Auto Parts.ie Future Classics Championship, and they are together now on track. Flanagan with a big lunge down the inside, almost using the rallycross track. Shattuck just about contains him. And Flanagan will have to do a rethink there. Here they come. This is great. And look at Aidan Byrne sniffing at the back of the Clio. He'll want to get ahead of that Clio.
He's going to have a look in the brakes, I think, in the south side.
That must be twice the weight of the Clio, but he gets it alongside it. You always think those Celicas look like a handful. Aidan Byrne says they're not that bad. They're a bit wallowy, but they're great cars. The three brothers all raced them before, and he's won the championship in that car before. Certainly doesn't have the legs of the Clio in a straight line, though.
I was going to say the Clio has the legs of it on power. Obviously, the weight difference.
Yeah, it's very light, the Clio. Great little car. Paul Flanagan, known to us from Fiat Racing, raced Unos and Puntos before he got this little Clio, and he's done very well in it this year. But Aidan Byrne almost sitting around the outside of him, and Ger Byrne launching over the curves in the background. He has gone around the outside. Aidan Byrne at turn 2. That's a good move.
That's a brave move there, especially in the big Celica.
Yeah, Aidan Byrne has it done to perfection. He's driven well all year. Surprised that I'm breaking the barrier time, but the track is particularly quick today, and that's going to make it tough for these guys. Because the guys that normally can just about do the barrier time are going to go a little bit under it. Same as all the other classes are slightly quicker today. Here they come down into the S's again. Oh, big lock up for Shattuck. Duggan's still out in front and still hasn't broken the barrier time. Flanagan in second place. Now, Tomas O'Rourke in third place in the Civic, even though he's well back. And then David Hammond and David McDonald. So Aidan Byrne is showing in 7th place, and Ger Byrne in 8th, well back down the grid. So barrier times and penalties flying in this one.
Left, right and centre, 106 is all round. But it is Duggan leading Flanagan. Richard Shattuck is up into 3rd position now, even with his penalties. Duggan still leads on circuit. Shattuck in 2nd position, and that's Celica making great inroads on Shattuck into the back of the paddock. And Aidan. And here come the leaders up to Southside Motor Factors, and I think this is going to be the final time.
Yeah, Gary Duggan up and in over the curve just because he wants a few more of those hops, but he's done it to perfection. Gary Duggan in the Punto Abarth heading down towards the checkered flag now. The championship contenders are together, but we'll have to add the penalties in. It's Duggan takes it, it's Shattuck second, and just about is Flanagan, but he doesn't get it though. The order goes Duggan, Flanagan, Shattuck. No, it's changing again. Duggan, Flanagan, Tomas O'Rourke, Richard Shattuck, Aidan Byrne, Ger Byrne, David Hammond. So crucially, Aidan Byrne kept the nose clean the last few laps and got back past Hammond and McDonald, which brought him back up and gave him a clatter of championship points. So Paul Flanagan will have got more points than Aidan Byrne, and I think probably brought the championship, Jim, to the second race that we're going to have this afternoon.
Absolutely, and Aidan needs to have a look out there. Aidan's broke the barrier time twice in that race.
Yeah, it's a lot of points, but he did some clean laps at the end and got himself back up the grid. So interesting stuff from the Irish Auto Parts Future Classic class. Another very inexpensive class to get into. Pretty much any car. Some of the that's an ex-rally car at the top, Tomas O'Rourke's car. He said it's too heavy and it's too high up to be a racing car, but he's just mad to go and do something. There's David Hammond's little Uno. Those cars came into racing in 1992 at Mondello Park, and David Hammond was involved in them. They were a manufacturer-supported class. You got £100 start money, and there were 20-something cars the first round out. That was a lot of money back then. It was more than your entry fee, I think, way back. So another one of the Celicas coming in there, but great stuff from Irish Auto Parts Future Classics. A little bit of a change in the running order if you're having your coffee break or your naps. ZETECs are next up, the ZETEC Safety ZETECs. Then we're going to have the Irish Touring Cars, the mixed race, Irish Touring Cars, Supercars, and say it Supercups, and then we will have the Fiesta ST race. So a slight change around. The STs are not after these ZETECs, but the ZETECs are already coming down the pit lane. And guess what? Amy Woods in the motor neuron disease awareness car is on pole position.
Does that work from the previous race, fastest lap of
Top 6 reversed.
Okay.
Yeah, it always gives us great entertainment. So Amy Woods will start on pole position for the second time in her race career in this class. She's a second race pole position occupant previously. And actually, when we had for the motor neuron, we had a Fiestival here a couple of years back when Sean Woods was first diagnosed, and she also went really well in that car. Led a race for a long time. Sean Woods actually led a race, and in his last race here in the same car. So yeah, good stuff. Amy Woods had a big ask for her now in the Shaky Bills pub in Dundalk, sponsoring her, and of course the car done in Dundalk colours. Go on, Honda Town, as they say up there. I can't do the accent. I should be able to do it because I've been hanging around with the Woods family for long enough. It's great. It's so nice to have Sean and Siobhan Woods in the paddock, and Hugh McAvoy and a few others. The extended Woods family converted a caravan for the weekend. It's got a ramp and a bigger door, and there was hilarity in that caravan last night, I can tell you, Jim. Great entertainment. Lovely people, the Woods family from Tremiskin, just outside Dundalk, and they've got huge roots in motorsport. Sean raced, he ran teams, he ran multiple car teams, took on the millionaires, and it's great to have him here. Is that a little bit of rain?
That is the rain, yeah. We were just about to be hit with a big rain shower, it looks like. So I'm not sure if this is going to help or hinder Amy Woods in pole position. And a great turnout for the motor neuron run here last weekend at the Dunlop Masters Superbikes.
Yeah, Jim, it's sometimes, sometimes fundraisers can be a little bit tedious, but sometimes you get ones that are so much fun. There was more laughter than anything else here last Saturday night. Everybody walked the track with them. They staged the dead heat to the line. The two boys were neck and neck. Then the local police came in and pulled them and did them for speeding. And
she was a good-looking vanguard as well,
yeah,
I must say.
Yeah, the guard was very helpful, yes indeed. So great old crack, and Sean was in top form all through that, as indeed he was last night and is again today. He'd be very proud to see his daughter Amy on pole position for this one in the Shaky Bills and Watch Your Back MND car. They're actually collecting a few quid again today in the paddock for that, I think. It's research, is their MND awareness and research that they're raising the money for. But Amy Woods, third place, remember, in qualifying this morning. So she's not there by luck. She's got plenty of pace, and she went really well in qualifying this morning. So the top 6 reversed. She was 6th in race 1, top 6 reversed for race 2. Amy Woods on pole position. Alongside her, a danger man, Philip Lawless, works here at Mondello Park, former champion in the class, has won many races here and knows Mondello better probably than anybody else. Harry McGovern, the two best buddies on the second row of the grid. I think they may have shaken hands. Apparently they were both quite repentant afterwards. Harry McGovern and Ian Fishburne went at each other. It's easy to happen in saloon car racing, and it went a little bit tit for tat, but they'll start together on the front row. I think they'll be pretty well behaved. The two danger men, of course, row 3, Michael Barrable, Alan Dawson. Michael Barbable's the new ZETEC Safety champion, and Alan Dawson has won 2 races already this year, and he would love number 3. Then Roy Tobin had a great charge earlier. Mark Johnson, watch out for him. The two incredible newcomers, Lara Whelan and Richie Byrne, are on row 5. Then Gary Bradley from the Wexford Motor Club, Luke Noon, Sean Manning, Bobby Turley, Mark O'Donoghue, Mick Keogh, Keelan Noon, Caleb Shanley, Keith Lenihan and Mark Meanahan, and away they go. And Phil Lawless has got the best start, but Amy's going back at him as they go away.
And Phil sort of closed the door as they went off the line. I'm not sure if Amy was able to get past him.
Very ungentlemanly, like she's having to go back on the brakes, but no, he's gone down the outside. Fishburne gone down the outside, and McGovern. Oh, Phil gone in way too wide, and Amy takes the lead back now. And Alan Dawson's off down at turn 1. It's Amy Woods, it's McGovern, it's Phil Lawless, and then it's Ian Fishburne.
I think Phil got a little help to go around turn one there. It looked like the tail came right around.
Oh, look at that. McGovern's just eased by Amy. She's stuck on the outside. You don't want to be out there in wet conditions. That's clever by her, lifting off and getting back in there. She found out the last time what happens if you get stuck back on the outside. These cars will be very taily in these conditions. Now watch out for this as they head down. Watch out. Oh, Alan Dawson into the back of Johnson, that is, down at the second apex at turn 3.
And the conditions deteriorating very, very rapidly here. A massive shower. And I'm not sure what setup, Leo. I'm sure they all went with the dry setup.
Well, guess what? These cars don't have adjustable shocks. They run standard KYB shocks to a forward spec. They run a lowering spring. You can't really adjust them. You can track them and you can go with your tyre pressures, but that's about it. It's the beauty of these cars. Alan Dawson off on the exit. If Alan Dawson's putting wheels off, things are bad out there. Amy Woods going well in second place. Phil Lawless in third. Fishburne it is next up. This is great stuff from the ZETEC Safety ZETEC Fiestas. There's Mick Keogh, Minahan, all the rest. Caleb Shanley going nicely there. That's Manning, the new guy, number 123. Sean Manning did really well in his first race meeting last time. Bit of a baptism of fire for him. These cars move around a lot in these conditions. But it is McGovern, Amy Woods, Phil Lawless, Ian Fishburne, Michael Barrable around the outside now. Is that Richie Byrne? It is Richie Byrne going up there. I said these guys were going well, but Richie Byrne is mixed in with the big boys. There's Mick Keogh in what he calls the orange blob going around the outside. Barrable wheel to wheel with somebody at turn 2. But young McGovern in the Medical Banks car now out front, number 56. Wipers on. It'd be very easy here for the back end to let go because you got to lift off at some stage, Jim, and that's when it happens. Amy Woods for good and late in the brakes there, bringing Phil Lawless with her.
Yeah, and Phil looking very, very strong, and I'm sure Phil has done more laps around this place than most people. In fourth position there, Ian Fishburne, and he's having a good look down the outside of Phil Lawless.
Hailstones coming down now. I'm glad we're in the commentary box and not out there, but here they come. We had sunshine 20 minutes ago. This is incredible stuff. Headlights on for Richie Byrne, and Michael Barrable cannot get by Richie Byrne just yet. Alan Dawson's got by Johnson there, that is. That's Alan Dawson in the Sheds Direct car. But the Medical Banks car out front. Rod McGovern, his dad, has won many races and championships here at Mondello Park, and Harry didn't lick it off the stones. Fishburne high and wide there. Now is Michael Barrable down the inside of Richie Byrne into Southside Motor Factory's corner. He's up a place. Watch Michael Barrable, new champion, middle of the screen now. The blue and yellow car under all the raindrops. Really horrendous conditions now in Mondello Park as they head down to the first corner, Jim.
Look at the battle for third there between Phil Lawless and Ian Fishburne.
Yeah, down the inside. Do you like me new bumper, Phil? Yeah, good stuff there. Oh, Phil Lawless just getting into the back of him there on the run to turn 2. I think he backed out of it though. He didn't turn him around, so just giving him a little kiss in the back. Well, here comes Barrable now. There's no man with more racecraft than Michael Barrable. Not sure how he is in the wet, but I suspect every bit as quick as he is in the dry. I'm hugely impressed with Richie Byrne, newcomer this year, first year out. See at the back of this group here, and he's hanging on to Michael Barrable. He's driving like a pro. Great stuff from Richie Byrne. Missed around in the championship. He was on holidays, dropped him back a little bit, but he's in with the big boys. That's Alan Dawson behind him.
And it looks like our leader, Harry McGovern, beginning to make a little gap over in second position, Amy Woods.
There's Mick Keogh going through, Caleb Shanley. Luke Noon doing beautifully as well. Car number 25, the red car. He's inside the top 10. There he is, right behind Mark Johnson there in the middle of the screen. Great stuff from Luke Noon. And then it's Mark Minahan, Roy Tobin, Gary Bradley and Keelan Noon. So this is great stuff. Look at this. They're coming towards us now. Look at this. There's standing water everywhere. Wipers full on. Michael Barrable has the headlights on, trying to get by Phil Lawless. And Richie Byrne, Alan Dawson, Johnson, and that's the man I just spoke about, Noon, a dive down the inside, another newcomer. This is great stuff from him, car number 25. Luke Noon just stuck it down the inside of Mark Johnson there into the final corner. It's great to see the newcomers coming on. It's a bit like the bike racing you're involved in, Jim.
Absolutely. You need new blood every year to stir it up a little bit.
Yeah, some of these guys were sitting in the grandstand and decided they'd go and buy one of these cars because they're only a few grand each. And they're not that expensive to run. Look at that, he's getting away now from Mark Johnson, and we know how quick Mark Johnson is. He's been a pole sitter and a winner here before. Barrable piling the pressure on Phil Lawless now. Phil knows the place, as we said, like nobody else. He works here during the week and a former champion in this class, so he won't be easily passed.
But Barrable's a champion for a reason, and he's right on the back of Phil Lawless as they come out towards
oh no, curse of the commentator. That's my fault, isn't it? That's 25, Luke Noon. He was doing so well, that red car number 25. We did say the back end will get very loose down there in wet conditions, but he showed some great pace today. Everybody getting sideways, and Lawless gets out of shape. I think that's going to allow Barrable alongside. We're not looking at it, but Barrable having a big challenge now as they come back at the S's top of the screen. There he goes round the outside of Phil Lawless. Barrable on the outside. That's brave stuff in the dry, never mind the wet. Phil Lawless eases him out, doesn't give him any tarmac at all. Oh, Barrable with a switch back down the inside. That is classic Michael Barrable. Phil Lawless too busy giving Michael Barrable the squeeze on the outside of the corner. Barrable's like, "Man, I'll have the inside."
A lovely bit of racecraft, absolutely.
Yeah. No panels touched, nothing. That's Michael Barrable. That's why he's the champion.
And Amy Wood's doing a sterling job there in second position.
She is in second place. And Sean will be so proud of this, and Siobhan, of course, because they were so happy she qualified. Oh, Phil Lawless again into the back of Michael Barrable. I think that's probably the last you'll see of him. Barrable, I think, is going to zoom in on Ian Fishburn next up.
Ian Fishburn doing a good job there in fourth position.
Oh, Alan Dawson, great move. Just got alongside Richie Byrne there. She's experience showing just a little bit, but Richie Byrne could be so proud of this performance. Richie Byrne and Amy Woods drives the day so far. I think at this one, not taking anything away from young McGovern out front, but look at this, just hanging on to Alan Dawson. And I'm not sure if Richie Byrne has driven this car in the wet before, but he's obviously going to make a name for himself as a wet weather expert as they head back up the hill. So heading down into Bridgestone corner, the first bit of the S's. There we go, somebody very sideways there. Oh, that's Alan Dawson there, armful of opposite lock.
And a bit of a challenge. I just seen at the back of the screen there, two cars side by side.
There's Alan Dawson with the headlights on. Here's Amy Woods at the top of the screen, still doing beautifully. Fishburne can do nothing about her. Barrable, I think, probably the man on the move. There's Richie Byrne again. There's the Sheds Direct car of Alan Dawson. He won the first race, second in the championship. Was in with a shout of the championship up until the first race this morning. There's Johnson. There's Roy Tobin. Mark Meanahan next up, I think that is. Indeed it is. Shamley there at the top of the screen, very sideways, held on to it beautifully though. There we are, Barrable has caught up to Fish, so that's going to be the next one. The Fish graphics car of Ian Fishburne, trying to hold off the Michael Barrable Motors car of Michael Barrable. So two guys with their autonomous companies. So my pronunciation is gone. Anyway, the two guys that own their own companies.
In fairness to Michael Barrable, he's after making about a second on Ian Fishburne already on that lap. He's right on the back and has a go coming up the hill already, so Barrable has a better line coming up the hill. Fishburne leans on him slightly to try and intimidate him, and Barrable's on the outside for the left-hander.
Yeah, but there might be more grip on the outside. Barrable will know that. Watch this, down the outside, but the car lets go. He hangs onto it, or does he? Just about. That's cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, that's it.
But I don't think there was contact there. Let's see if he can make that back up. This will be interesting stuff. Oh, somebody very sideways. Fishburne, beautifully controlled in the background.
Colin McRae style.
Yeah, that was really nice stuff. Didn't cost himself any time either. Oh, they've got by Barrable. Two of them. One of them is Dawson as well. Dawson going to have a go as well. That's 15, I think, off. Is it down at turn 3? Indeed it is.
Oh, Barrable's 3 abreast.
Yeah. That was Luke Noon that had a quick rotation in the GTI car, Kieran Murphy run car. Fishburne all on his own. Then, Barrable's cost himself a couple of places there. Oh, and Alan Dawson drives him out wide. Look, giving him no tarmac.
He'll have to pay back in if he gets out any further.
Honestly, yeah. Oh, sideways again, Barrable trying to get a switch back at turn 2. He hasn't given up yet. The new champion isn't going down without a fight in this one, but Alan Dawson, I think he didn't quite leave him no room, but he didn't quite leave him a Fiesta with us. Oh, good Barrable trying to have a go back now down into turn 3. How long have we got left to go on this one? I hope it's not. I hope it's
6 minutes.
6 minutes, brilliant. We're going plenty more action. Phil Lawless goes wide and out right out onto the curb. Dawson gets a couple of lengths back at him. Barrable, I think, is trying to settle down and get the head down again. Let's not forget Harry McGovern out front is leading this one. And Amy Woods, who's tracking him the whole way. Then Fishburne, Lawless, Barrable, Dawson, Richie Byrne, Mark Johnson, Roy Tobin, and rounding out the top 10 is Mark Meanahan. There's our leader. Haven't seen him for a while. And Amy Woods, keeping him honest, she's not too far back. Amy Woods hasn't had much running this year at all, hasn't had any wet running. So this is great stuff from her. There's Phil Lawless, Alan Dawson, 25 again, Noon, the second spin of the day, but he showed loads of pace. That the next car that's up there, I think, is that's Keith Lenihan, the purple car we saw just there. That's the guy that was watching from the grandstand just 2 meetings ago and decided to buy himself a car, and he's out there now cutting his teeth. Tough time for him to be cutting your teeth in weather like this. It'd be very, very difficult conditions. That's Richie Byrne, the newcomer, going really nicely this year. Johnson and Roy Tobin locked in combat behind them, but here's a good battle now. This Phil Lawless has been tracked down by the champion and the runner-up in the championship. And I don't think Barrable's quite finished with these boys just yet.
No, Jim. I don't think so. And Barrable, obviously the quickest of the three. He lost a load of ground and closed right in, and Lawless sideways and loses that spot to Barrable coming up out of the turn 3.
Yeah, really, just got it. He went high and wide and got a little bit sideways, and that was the end of it. Dawson goes through, Barrable goes with him. So it's Barrable up a place. He's going to have a go at Dawson. Now it'd be very interesting to see these two having a go.
They had a good go earlier.
They did. I don't think that is over just yet. So remember, Harry McGovern leads this one. Amy Woods in second place. There she is. That's our leader, the Medical Banks car. He's done beautifully. Took the lead on the first lap, and it's just eased away, but only slightly. Matching him time for time now is Amy Woods in second place. The Shaky Bills Dundalk car. Barrable's got up the inside of Dawson. Behind this group, Barrable has got up the inside of Dawson on the way onto the main straight. Watch this, top of the screen. Can't see it. Here they go.
See the spray.
The Barrable on the inside, Dawson on the outside. Barrable got up the inside on the way out of the final corner. Incredible move if he can contain it now, and he can. And that is Michael Barrable doing what he does best. If you're getting by Arlen Dawson, you're doing something right here.
He made a great move coming out of Southside.
Yeah.
Just sort of a switchback, went right and then came left and then right again. It's got him.
Yeah, it's been his move all year. He's very good at doing the switch back up there, and he's just got traction on the inside. There's traction in the oddest place at Mondello Park in wet conditions. So Alan Dawson got back by these two after that sideways moment, Barrable, and I think we'll see him attack Fishburne before this one is out. Phil Lawless struggling a little bit for front end grip there. The car just washing out on him down at turn 3. Conditions like these, Jim, you've got to feel sorry for the cameramen and for the marshals out there, of course. Getting an absolute soaking, tough time for them. Here we go, this is our leader again, coming back up towards us. He's done 20.2 last time round, 20.3 for Amy Woods. Barrable 19.6, Dawson 19.2. They're way quicker than the leaders. So Michael Barrable's not finished just yet. He'd surely haul in Fishburne. There he is, on the power, a little bit of understeer right out to the curb. Dawson going well too. Watch the lap times on the left this time when they go by. 19.8 for the leader. The rain has stopped and it's getting a little bit quicker. 19.9 for Amy Woods. 19.7, 18.7 for our new champion. Michael Barrable is flying. He's quicker than everybody else out there. That car there, number 22, the blue and yellow car, fastest car on track by a considerable margin. He is a second, 1.3. Sorry, he's 1.1 quicker than the leader that time round, Jim.
So we're down into the last 2.5 minutes now, Leo, so it's now or never for Barrable.
Yeah, well, I think he'd certainly have a go at Fishburne for this final podium place. Ian Fishburne has had a great debut season. It's not a debut season, actually. He did a little bit before, but he bought the car and come full-time at it this year and really has gone well in that Fish Graphics car. Barrable right up with him again now. Here's Amy Woods in second place going nicely, but there's Barrable already all over the back of Fishburne now. He's going to have to try and make it a move quick before Dawson arrives up to help him again.
Yeah,
Alan Dawson going nicely, and his lap times are very quick as well.
Barrable right on the back wheel of Fishburne. Fishburne defends. Barrable goes on the outside now, but it's very difficult to pass on the outside.
Watch him try a switch back here though. Barrable trying to get up the inside and get a little bit of traction. Can he do it? He's got the nose up the inside. Can he get alongside? No, Fishburne contains it nicely. This is good stuff. Probably another lap to run.
1 minute 30 seconds to go.
Well, they'll get 2 laps, I'd imagine. Somebody going very slowly at the back of the pits. Mick Keogh, that is, I think. There's Amy Woods going nice. Oh, Fishburne surely's gone wide, has he? He has, and he gets sideways, and Barrable's going to say thank you very much, Ian. I'll take that place back. Ian's going, no, I'll stay beside you for turn 2. Oh, contact, but he backs out of it. Barrable just hangs onto it like it's a Mark II Escort and says, that's it, that'll do me, thanks very much. In fairness to Fishburne, a little bit of contact and then backed out of it, but Barrable was well able to hang onto it there. This is great to watch, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, Fishburne was very clean. He touched him and just lifted off the throttle and let Barrable have this circuit.
Yeah, Barrable's the man with the pace here, there's no doubt. Look at that again, sideways stuff, stands on the power out over the curbs. That's cost him time though. That's going to cost him a place. Fishburne coming back at him, and they're staying apart, but surely Barrable, because he got the nose down. No, he doesn't. Oh, Fishburne gets opposite lock though. No, he gets it done, gets it stopped. This is cracking action. The ZETEC Safety ZETEC once again. Remember, you can buy one of these cars for somewhere around €2,500. The 6-hour Fiesta race is happening this year. It was cancelled a few times for COVID reasons. It's happening on November the 7th here at Mondello Park. If you have one of these cars and you've got 3 mates, you can all drive it for 6 hours. The race starts at midday and finishes at the dark at 6 o'clock in the evening. Barrable has done his trademark move and got up the inside again. He's alongside this time. Barrable's going to do Ian Fishburne. I think he has done him. He's in front as they cross the line. It shows Michael Barrable in front there now, I think, on the final lap. And will Barrable be able to hang on to this though? It's hectic stuff, Jim.
Fishburne defending, he's on the outside. He's not letting the position go just yet. Barrable might run wide now on the exit of turn 1, but he doesn't. He defends.
Cracking stuff. Now, Barable did it all on his own. Very unusual for him down in turn 3 last time round, but that is the drive of a champion. He's come from the 3rd row of the grid. He's been up to 3rd and back down to 5th, and he's 3rd again. The orders: Harry McGovern, Amy Woods, and Michael Barable. Fantastic stuff.
And what a drive by Harry McGovern. Hasn't put a foot wrong in all race.
Great. He's really developed this year as a driver. He's won loads of races, and is definitely a championship contender if he stays on next year. Barable again out over the curbs, but doesn't lose time this time. Then Fish, then Alan Dawson. Amy Woods a bit closer possibly. Oh, Michael Barable taking a run at Amy Woods in the final lap. We're on the last lap now. This soaked starter is down there with a soaked checkered flag ready to wave it. Here comes Harry McGovern, and not too far away for motor neuron disease awareness and research is Amy Woods, but it's the Medical Bank's car, number 56 of young Harry McGovern. Morgan Dempsey and Jordan Dempsey run this car. Look at that, they're delighted. That's the Dempseys on the right on the pit wall, and the McGoverns, and why wouldn't they be? That's a class drive from Harry McGovern to take a win. And Amy Woods in 2nd place, equally impressive. Michael Barable, the new champion, charges to 3rd place. He'd be delighted with that. He loves a bit of close combat. And then it's Dawson and all the rest. But Jim, the budget tin tops give us all the entertainment at Mondello Park.
Absolutely, and McGovern just can't say enough about that drive in really, really tricky conditions. They set off when the circuit was dry. It started to rain really heavy. He never put a foot wrong for the whole race, and same with Amy Woods. A fantastic drive from Amy.
Michael
as well.
Barable 2 seconds faster than anyone else on the last lap, and 19 dead for him. So Michael Barable with a great comeback drive, but nobody pressurised that man. As you said, there he is, Harry McGovern. He's took the lead early on the first lap and just eased away. So
I presume that's why Michael Barable is the champion.
Yeah, well, he just doesn't really make mistakes, and he does really. But we saw some good drives there. We name check a few people in that one because I know, well, certainly Amy Woods was very impressive. But if you go back a little bit, Richie Byrne there in 7th place. Richie Byrne's a newcomer, and that's not any conditions for newcomers. Roy Tobin next up. Mark Meehan hasn't been out much this year at all. He's inside the top 10. Mark Johnson, Caleb Shanley, what about that? 11th place, ahead of Lara Whelan. Then Gary Bradley, Mick Keogh, Sean Manning, Luke Noon, Bobby Turley, Keelan Noon, Keith Lenihan. And that's it. Mark O'Donoghue didn't finish that one, but some great drives there. And the novices in particular impressing me so much. But Amy Woods be absolutely delighted with that 2nd place. And so will Sean and Siobhan Woods. So McGovern and Woods, the first 2 in that one, with Michael Barable charging back up to 3rd place. An approving nod from the commentary box here from Neil Murphy from ZETEC Safety. He's been great to have on board this year. He's great crack. He's doing more work than some other people in the paddock. For a sponsor, we've worked him pretty hard, but Neil's down there in the paddock all the time and very much involved with all the competitors, and hopefully we'll do a deal late night in Nace tonight to get him on board for next year. He's just legged it out of the commentary box as I say that. Don't mind me, the deal's already done. So there you go. Harry McGovern takes a really impressive win. But look at the lap times on the final lap. Amy Woods 1:21.1, Michael Barable 1:19 dead, Ian Fishburne 20.5, Dawson 20.3. Really close. So just fantastic stuff from the ZETEC Safety Fiestas.
What's up next, Leo?
Well, it was going to be the STs, but they've moved them around just a little bit. So next up is the Irish Touring Cars, the Seat Supercups, and the Irish Supercars powered by Pirelli.
Tricky conditions for some of those drivers.
Very tricky, but you'll find they're allowed to use wet tyres, so they'll probably be pretty well nailed down, and they can adjust them quite a lot. Supercars certainly can they're pretty much like a single seat. They disconnect roll bars, soften everything off, and they'll run Pirelli wet tyres and Yokohama wets for the Seats.
And what about the touring cars?
Touring cars can do whatever they want, so they don't have a tyre brand.
So Ulick Burke was going to have a handful.
Yeah, I'd imagine Ulick's car probably wouldn't be that suitable for wet conditions. It's probably got a little bit too much power. Maybe he's furiously changing a pulley on the supercharger to keep himself left, or cutting the belt for the supercharger, because it's not the conditions for 440 brake horsepower in a front-wheel drive car. apologies about that delay. There's been a little bit of a switch in the timetable, and these guys weren't ready, and not their own fault, but there was a lot of switching of tyres, obviously, and stuff to be done. The irony of what you're seeing now on the track is that out over turn 3, the sun has come out. We can see the Hill of Allen. We can see that clearly out over turn 3, and generally that's where the weather comes from in Mondello Park. These guys are probably going to start on wet tyres. That's what everybody would do. I think that within a 15-minute race, I don't know what Jim thinks, that they're going to overheat and chunk. Now, that said, I don't think you could get round the track on slicks at the moment, but it's gone very, very bright. There you go. That's the view. Great stuff. If you can see those hills, that's the Hill of Allen, right out over the trees from turn 3. As Robin Rhodes used to say years ago, and Brian Chew told me, that if you can see over there, the weather is probably going to be okay. It's highly unlikely. But there are dark clouds to the right. But Jim, you're a local man. They're headed for Prosperous, surely.
Yeah, the rain and a few heads over at Dowlings there.
Yeah, so there you go. The camera's just panning across to the right. And you can see it is pretty dark over there, but that's the international loop, and that's really over to the right of where we are, hopefully. But generally, 90% of the time, if you can see out over turn 3 and it's clear, it's probably going to clear it up. That said, all these cars will be on wets. Lap times are going to be way out, and it should be very, very interesting to see how they go. Now, I have a feeling the Pirelli wet that the Supercars use is pretty potent, so let's see how they get on. So there's Barry English will be on pole position for this one. Obviously sorted out whatever the problem was with that car earlier. Neil Toll then a beautifully turned out Southside Motor Factory's car. And then 970 Shane Murphy. And it's Corcoran, Charlie Lannan, the John Lane Motors car, Paul Parr in that beautiful Railbud liveries car, and Philip Jones. John Newport, and I think it's Alan Watkins. Indeed it is. And in the touring cars, it's Alan Healy going to be on pole, I think. From Cahill Ward, who went superbly in qualifying, Paul Toomey, Stephen Traub and Ulick Burke. So this will be interesting. Ulick Burke and Stephen Traub right at the back. I don't think these conditions, surely they're not going to suit Ulick Burke.
I wouldn't think so. The roar off that thing, it's like one of the drift cars. It's got so much poke.
Yeah, sounds great.
These Seats are going to be really, really tricky to get off the line. And I'd say one of the touring cars could nearly swamp them. Five seconds. Waiting for the lights to go out. And away we go.
Barry English gets the run, and right in behind him is Shane Murphy. Paul Parr, I think that is with a cracking start, and Lannan probably on the outside, but Barry English it is.
I think
Shane
you're
Murphy
right.
Gets boxed in.
Leo, I think you were right about the Pirelli wets.
Well, no problem for Barry English there as he leads this one through turn 2. ITCC cars bringing up the rear, trying to sort themselves out. So there we go, that's the leader. And look at Toll on a real run here, crowding Barry English on the run out to turn 3. I'm not sure which ECU is in which car, but that's not going to play too much in these wet conditions. Look at that from Toll, confidence around the outside. Philip Jones in the Alan Castle car. Then Corcoran, I think it is. Great stuff. Ulick Burke, the head of the touring cars. He has.
Absolutely.
Not sure how he did that. But Ulick Burke, I can see in the background, is taking the lead of the ITCC. And look at the Supercars. Look at Philip Jones with a massive run through the S's in the ASK car. Barry English be wondering where these guys came from. Down the outside of the brakes. Very, very light space frame car. Looked like he was going to go straight on, but he has it beautiful around the outside. Surely the Seat has more power in a straight line. It does, and he has to get back in behind it. Intriguing to see these different cars together. That's Charlie Lanane getting alongside him. Great stuff. Charlie Lanane gets a great run out of the final corner. Gets down the inside of Philip Jones and takes the lead in the Supercars. Philip Jones left to sit around the outside. Paul Parr, Gary Corcoran, Ulick Burke ahead of one of the Seats. He's ahead of Shane Murphy. How's Shane Murphy back there? Must be in trouble. This is first, second and third overall. It's the leader of the Seats and also the leader of the Supercars. So Charlie Lanane in that beautifully turned out car leading this one, but Philip Jones looking very dangerous on the brakes down the outside, looking to get back up the inside, in over that inside curve. They're both sideways as they stand on the power. Running Duratec engines now, these cars, the sequential gearbox. They've changed the spec massively in the last few years, and very, very potent motor cars. Some of them running paddle shift, 2 pedals, auto flip on the downshift. So they've put a lot of technology into these cars.
That sounds expensive.
Yeah, they don't give too much trouble though, and the guys that race them absolutely love them.
Look at Jones having a look down the outside on Lane.
He'll be looking to get back to the inside and do what Charlie Lane did to him, but no, Lane goes inside. Jones outside this time, it doesn't get any extra traction. Parr going nicely there as well. Toll in between them. Look at Ulick Burke having a go at one of the supercars there. I think that's Corcoran he's having a look at. That's the top of your screen on the right hand side now. Ulick Burke's car looks like it handles really well. It goes well in the round. We didn't expect that, Jim. He's got by him.
Maybe he took our advice and took the belt off the blower.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Ulick knows exactly what he's doing. He's big into the development of this car. He's got a good bunch of lads working with him on the car as well. And he really wants to give them a night out in the weekend. And look at Philip Jones. He's so confident. Oh, Barry English says I don't think so. There was an elbow perhaps there, wasn't it? Oh, you can have it back, says Philip Jones. Have some of your own medicine. And oh, he's very sideways. Here comes Charlie Lane. And that, I think Barry English has slowed right down. I wonder if he got a puncture. And the bodywork is flailing now from Jones' car. That's allowed Watkins from Wellback to get up right in the middle of this one. But Philip Jones in front, that was he tried to have a look around the outside. It looked like he got a little bit of an elbow from Barry English. So he just fired it down the inside and contact, but no damage. Unusual. I would have thought the save would come off better than a supercar in weather like this.
Well, if you give it, you got to take it. So that's fair is fair.
Yeah, here they come down the main straight now. And there's Ulick Burke with the supercharger on, blasting by Charlie Lane. Philip Jones still hanging on out front. Watkins trying to have a go at him here, but Philip Jones containing it all. You can see right into that car and just see that it's their space frame chassis, tubular chassis from Sonny Howard Promotions. Oh, look at this. There's Barry English stopping on the entrance to the pit lane. Not sure what's up with the car, but it's going to block the pit lane there. Jones still leading this one. Get a good run out of there, not too much off the block. Gets himself an extra length as they go back up.
Did a lovely little drift there, turning to earlier on. It was like full rallycross style, completely sideways, and got a great drive.
Philip Jones always smiling, jumps into any car that Alan Kessie gives him traditionally. Alan Kessie was running a fleet of these cars, but he's relaxing a little bit more and just having fun running one car. Ulick Burke is up to 4th place overall. Look at the background. There he goes, he's crowding the leading Sayet now. Toll is leading the Sayets, and Ulick Burke is looking for a bit of the action here. I wonder can he have a go in a straight line. He gets good traction. Super snatch vehicles out, safety cars out. Not sure what's happening there, but a lot of people.
Turn one is
a car off in the gravel. That's I'm not sure if it was a late call or we didn't see it, but certainly there was a lot of competitors having to suddenly stand on the brakes. The snatch unit is impressing me. I'm not sure who's in it today, but it's getting there really quickly, Jim. Cars, the gravel is still only falling back to the ground, and the snatch unit is there. Is that JR? Not sure who it is. They're getting it hooked. It's not JR. They're getting it hooked up really quickly. Great job by those guys. In fact, the entire track team have been great today. That car's fairly wedged in. That's what happens if you rake the gravel trap fairly often. It works well. It just grabs the car, and they rarely get through that trap and get to the gravel. Look how quickly they've managed to do this. They get the car hooked up. They just neutralise the race behind the safety car for a while, and then we'll be good to go again.
That's one thing about the bikes, where you normally go in and you skip over it on your body in the bike, you look back and it's scrap.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the cars are heavier, as you said, they'll just dig in.
So 9 minutes to go, so we're definitely going to have at least another 7 or 8 laps of really good action here.
Great job for Healy there, just being hauled out. He's got it started. I'll just drag him in the back gate, I suppose. Should be fine. It's the rain again. Just looking at the windows. The rain has come back. We weren't expecting that. It's come. Mind you, it has fogged over at turn 3 while we're watching that race.
So the light's still on the safety car. So they'll definitely get one more behind the safety car. Not sure who the lucky driver is of the safety car this weekend.
This is a replay of the incident. Look at that, yeah, Barry English. I'm not sure if the back end let go of Barry English's car, but contact, and Philip Jones just said no way. Back down the inside, and there must have been damage to Barry English's car. Just bad luck for Barry English, because I would have thought those Sayets would stand up to a lot more than that. They're factory built touring cars. They're pretty tough cars. They're very well prepared.
Just a racing incident, that's it.
Yeah. Well, certainly Barry English wasn't having any. There's the BMW M2 competition. flashing lights on. That's William Kellett. He's been racing in the UK this year in Fiestas. He's an instructor here at Mondello Park. If you come down to any of the activities, you'll find a lot of the instructors are people that race and win here at Mondello Park on a regular basis.
When the lights go out, Leo, does that mean it's coming in?
Yeah, when the lights go off the top, which they have just done out of shot. There you go, the lights are out. So this car's peeling off, and they need to crowd. Now, Philip Jones can slow them right down, or he can try and make a run for it. But slowing them right down is just choosing what to do here. And that's probably clever stuff, because Ulick Burke is the man on a charge, I feel, here.
Yeah, Ulick right in forward position there, ready for action.
Yeah. So Philip Jones doesn't want to expose himself. They're all looking to get a run onto the main straight here.
Ulick in the bright yellow Honda Civic.
Yeah. And watch Ulick Burke now as this car gets going in fourth place. Shane Murphy there with the headlights on. He's lost in the mist, but Philip Jones makes no mistake and leads them down towards turn one. Goes down the inside, Watkins down the outside, and the south side Zetec looking to have a go for second place overall, but the Supercars are quick on the exit. Then Ulick Burke, Paul Parr, Charlie Lanane coming through. And I think it's Gary Corcoran next up.
Would the wets have lost any adhesion with the couple of slow laps?
And they tend to be a really soft compound, so they don't. They tend to not get any issues like that. The only problems you get with wets is that when they chunk, if it dries out at all, they overheat really quick because it's so soft, and they begin to just bits drop off them, and they're absolutely useless. So that's why when you see a wet race drying up, people diving in for slicks, you think it's a silly move, but actually you'll make up 10, 15 seconds a lap
and
sometimes.
Sorry, I was shot there. We've just seen Ulick Burke have a good look.
Oh yeah, Ulick Burke in the background. Watch out in the background here. Oh, he's trying to get up the inside there to say it. He's on a giant killing axe.
The touring car is holding him up for sure.
Yeah, Ulick looking very quick. Oh, down the inside. Paul Parr down the inside of Ulick Burke there in the supercar. Oh, Ulick should have more ponies in a straight line. He doesn't, though. The two supercars have gone by him. It's traction, I think, with the supercars and these Pirelli tyres. Philip Jones getting away now out front, down into turn one. No mistakes for him. Oh, Ulick powers up alongside him. It's absolutely traction. The supercars are well set up and they've got a good Pirelli tyre, but once the Integra comes on pipe, I don't think there's a whole lot out there. I'll stay with it. Oh, he's got by both of them again. Wow, Ulick Burke, well, how did he do that? He's gone back by both of them there, Jim.
That was a clever bit of driving there by Ulick at turn two. Made a little gap. I think he's definitely been held up by the touring car.
Yeah, that's it in front. But Toll's driving beautifully. Hasn't made any mistakes. Centre of the road stuff. And it's going to have to be a lunge somewhere. But look, he gets compromised on the exit of corners by the traction of these supercars. That was Charlie Lanane having a go there. And Parr trying to get down the inside of him. And Gary Corcoran now, the Wicklow man, has latched himself onto the back of that battle. Philip Jones doing nicely out front here. And it's Toll leading the Zetec. Ulick really wants to have a go. He's broken front splitter there, we can see on the car, as he slows it right down. He's got a good run out this time. That's a good drive. Let's see if he can get alongside the Zetec. I don't think he can. He looks like he can. He's going to go to the outside. The Zetec holds the inside line. Oh, this brave stuff down the outside. He gets the nose ahead. Can he get it stopped? He can. I thought he was heading for the kitty litter there for a minute, Jim.
He's going to show him the...
Oh, he's going to go around the outside and hold it for turn two. That's cracking stuff.
What a clever bit of driving.
I'm not sure if he made it. Let's see. He did.
Wow. Fantastic bit of driving. Absolutely.
That would be impressive in the dry, but it's uber impressive in the wet conditions. He's going well, and Toll just staying calm, not getting involved. He doesn't need to battle with an Irish touring car, but watch the pace now of Ulick Burke. He's already got 3-4 lengths getting away. This is incredible stuff.
4 minutes to go.
Yeah, looking very good for Ulick Burke for ITCC honours, Philip Jones for Supercar honours, and Toll, of course, for the Zetec. Toll being crowded now. Charlie Lanane driving very well today, another Wicklow man. A lot of Wicklow men in this race. And look, just as I say it, he gets a great run off the S's and gets alongside the Zetec. Parr, though, fires it down the inside of them all. I don't think Charlie even saw him coming. Paul Parr, opportunistic stuff there. Great move to get by them all. The Zetec going, what happened? 3 supercars gone past me because Corcoran's gone by 2. This is great entertainment. The mixed saloon car race.
Ulick Burke is the third fastest lap of the race. 106.22.
See that, he's much quicker than anybody else bar the 2 supercars, and those supercars are on really good Pirelli wets. They've got very little weight on them, so they really are going nicely. So Jones, Watkins, Ulick Burke and Paul Parr the overall order, but of course Jones leading the supercars, and there's Ulick Burke leading the ITCC. We didn't think this was going to happen. How wrong were we? I thought that car wouldn't work at all in wet conditions.
Oh, right. Sideways. Rallycross style again.
And this is Watkins now having a go at Philip Jones. Up the inside, there's surely going to be contact. There is contact. And up over the inside curve for Watkins there. And Philip Jones doing well to hang on there. I thought Watkins had that. Flashing the lights for some reason there on the main straight. But right up over the inside curve onto the grass, but still didn't work.
Maybe the switch is broken.
Jones hung on to it there.
We've got 2 minutes 30 to go on the time, so they're going to get at least 3 more laps.
It's great.
Some great action at the front.
Well, Ulick Burke is going to have to start defending. The Supercars have caught him now. They've just got so much traction in these wet conditions. So it's Jones and Watkins, then Ulick Burke, Paul Parr, Charlie Lannan, Gary Corcoran, Cathal Ward going nicely, Shane Murphy, Paul Toomey and Stephen Martin, the order in this one. There's Ulick Burke, well ahead of the touring cars. It's funny when you're in a position like that, if you were sensible, you just let the Supercars go, but there's no way he's going to do that. He's battling his way wide him.
There's no sensible racers.
Well, if you were sensible, you wouldn't be driving a 400 brake horsepower supercharged Integra. So sideways stuff as Watkins tries to get by. And the same again as I look up the inside. Jones closes the door.
Yeah, he's perfectly entitled to do that. So nice driving there by Jones.
He's going very well in this one. Leave a big gap behind them.
And that battle raging now in the third position. I think there's 5 of them together here.
Well, they've got by Ulick. At least 2 of them have got by Ulick. Come down the straight. I wonder is Ulick going to let them go and just take his ITCC win?
That'd be the sensible thing to do.
It would be, yeah. He looks like he wants to have a go back at them. And Gary Corcoran with a beautiful drift there out of the first corner. Toll just coming into view there behind. Oh, contact there. Watkins into the back of Philip Jones. That's unsettled Jones' car. Got him sideways. Didn't quite work. That would look like it was going to be pushed to pass there.
Yeah, and Jones looked not to pick up a puncture from that one.
Back down into the S's now for I think what is probably the second last time.
Yeah, we're down in 55 seconds, so I'd say we'll get this half lap and one more.
Yeah, Jones to the inside again as they head up towards the final corner. Watkins takes a lunge, contact again. Well, Jones just shoveled off the track there. Won't be too happy about that one, no doubt.
Well, if that was me, he'd be leaving through the next corner.
There you go. So the lead changing now. Watkins in the lead and Philip Jones next up.
That's
and Jones.
Well,
that was always going to happen, wasn't it?
Thanks. If you give it, you got to take it.
Well, there's Jones still has the lead just about. Paul Parr next up. Corcoran goes through. Ulick Burke goes through. Waves yellows there as you see in the background. Oh, Ulick Burke gets the car sideways again and off on the outside of turn 2 and hangs on to it. Ulick Burke having a real go here. So he doesn't need to do this. His pit crew will be head and hands going. They're way ahead of the Irish touring cars. He wants to have a cut at a few of the Supercars, Ulick. Oh, Charlie Lannan had gone so well. And it looks like he's had a spin there in the last lap.
Maybe Ulick thinks he's on the night out already.
Yeah, honestly, it's now Philip Jones. Is Jones still leading? I think he is.
He is, yeah.
He is just about because Paul Parr and Ulick Burke now in the last lap. Here we go. This is for the lead. What's left of Philip Jones' car is leading. Oh. Parr going to have another lunge down the inside. Not today, says Philip Jones. I've had enough of it. This is great stuff. Jones hangs on. What a drive from Philip Jones. But Parr's going to get the run out of it. It's a drag race to the line. And let's see who gets it. Jones just about. Wow. What a race.
Fantastic.
Jones takes it from Paul Parr. Nothing in it there at all. And then it's Gary Corcoran. Then Ulick Burke takes the double ITCC win and the championship. And then who's next up? Waiting to come through. I think it's Watkins next up. It's Cathal Ward, Watkins, Lannan, Murphy, Toomey and Steve Martin. That was a good race.
What an entertainment. Absolutely. If you paid in today, that's absolutely the race for it.
So great stuff. And look at this. This is Jones back at Watkins, that is. They've come together at the final corner and then again at the first corner.
Well, in bike racing, they'd be saying Rubbin's racing, so there you go.
Yeah, there's not much left of that car, but it will drive back down to the ASK garage. So Philip Jones takes the win. Everybody throwing everything at him, the kitchen sink, the whole lot, and he still takes it. So that was great entertainment. You know, it brings back memories of the RT 2000s when you had, you know, Johnny Whelan and all these guys having a real go at them, and there was always a little bit of controversy involved. But in terms of entertainment, you could ask for nothing more. We've been spoiled today.
Absolutely, fantastic racing in every class, and fair play to all the drivers, and especially to the marshals and officials who are standing out in the rain.
Everybody's doing a great job today, and this is of course the final race meeting of the season. ICCR was introduced this year to promote and run Irish racing. The promotion has been second to none. The guys that do the promotion are absolutely brilliant, and it's attracted a lot more people both onto the grid and into the grandstand, and the drivers have just raised the game and absolutely excelled themselves in terms of entertainment. So there you go. We've got a couple of cars still to be collected, perhaps before the next. The next race is going to be the second Coffee to Go Fiesta ST race, where it'll be gloves off because the championship is decided. And Graham McDonald is the man there. Actually, we just had information there that it's Formula Boss Ireland will be next up with their second race of the day, so we can definitely say goodbye to any lap records. Then it will be the second ST race has been moved to the last race of the day, so it's going to be Boss Ireland, then Future Classics, and then Fiesta STs will round out the action. So plump up your pillows, as Matt Feeney used to say.
Yeah, and a big heavy shower coming from the west again, so the Boss Ireland guys, I'll be looking for a nice set of new wets.
Well, apologies for that. There was a little bit of a shuffle around there with the programme, and the ST race, the second ST race, the Coffee to Go ST race, was pushed out to the last race of the day, and the boss cars were called forward, but of course they've got a lot of adjustments to do and tyre changes and stuff, so they were given a little bit of time to do that. So the joys of live television, but they have managed to get it done, and they're back out on track. And the Finstown Castle Hotel Boss Ireland Championship contenders are back on track. Great entertainment early on. Different conditions this time around. Be interested to see how it works for them. The grid is Sylvie Mullins and Jonathan Files, but I don't see Jonathan Files out there, unfortunately. Had such trouble, Jonathan, with the car this year. He was trying to change a ratio in the gearbox. He was telling me at lunchtime, and there were gearbox problems, and it just escalated from there, and they couldn't get it sorted. And he's got a really good team with him. Final drive, he's got a really good team with him there. So they just couldn't get it done in time. That's a shame because, as we said before many times this year, if you want entertainment in a race, just add Jonathan Files to the equation. But we're not going to see him out there today. Sylvie Mullins just missed the outright lap record here at Mondello Park by a fraction in race one. He's not going to get another chance in 2021 because this is the final Boss Ireland race of the year. And as you can see, it's still very, very wet out there. They'll all be running maximum downforce, softer suspension and full wet racing tyres. Lap times will be way slower. It's been a difficult day for people to make choices because just out over turn 3, as you can see there, it's brighter up over the top of the trees. So it keeps changing, but it's brightened up now again, but it's just changing so quickly. There's a strong wind here at Mondello Park. That's drying the track quite quickly, but it's also bringing in more weather on a regular basis, so difficult conditions. Big thanks to all the marshals and of course the See It Live camera crew for giving us great coverage today and stayed going in that almost hailstone conditions earlier. We don't know how good we have it in the commentary box, Jim Halligan.
No, we've 2 nice warm coffees here and a donut.
Yeah, the Moto Cafe has been a great addition to Mondello Park. The food is streets ahead of where it used to be, and the coffee is proper coffee. I know you're a bit of a coffee connoisseur.
Oh, it's beautiful, I have to say, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we've had enough now that we might switch over to the Heineken later.
Well, they do that as well. They've taken over the bar at Mondello Park as well. I think that, as we said earlier, there's a lot of guys going to have a little bit of an ICCR night out in Nace. They're heading to the Nace Court Hotel this evening. Actually, speaking of hotels, we're talking about a couple of social dues in Finstown as well. Maybe a weekend sort of a show where we bring a car from each class and the public can come in and promote the ICCR. We're trying to keep the business in the paddock this year, and Finstown have been really good to us, and we wouldn't be broadcasting this. Let's be sure about that. We wouldn't, without Mondello Park's input and Finstown's input, we wouldn't be broadcasting this one. Barry Rabbit's just got back. Barry, what news from afar?
I'm out of breath again. I keep having to run up downstairs. It's not good. So, nothing really. Johnny and Files, unfortunately, still hasn't made it out. Still has that gearbox issue. They're working away desperately there in the first garage, but no go, unfortunately.
That's a shame. So can the F3 cars have a go at Sylvie here? Surely they will, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, this is manna from heaven for, as I said, the
this is Barry Rabbit weather.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm on the right side of the...
Did you try Google Maps to see how long it take to go home and get the Renault?
Jeez, I didn't, but I'm probably about out of time now.
You and I have done that on a few times over the years, collecting Unos.
My tyres are out there.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Well, that's good.
Shane Rabbit on the back of the grid, and my tyres on his car.
5-second board is up. Sorry, Barry.
Oh, you're
Red
good.
lights are on, they're out, and away they go. Nobody gets a good start, really.
Michael Connolly is stalled completely on the grid, so hopefully they can get him going before should be able to restart that car himself.
Sylvie still holds it just about somehow. Sylvie was just wheel spin, wheel spin, wheel spin. Oh, and he's so sideways.
Yeah,
Don't normally see for Sylvie's car go sideways like that.
No, that's a real snap of oversteer.
Oh, and
there.
again coming out of turn 2. That's not a comfortable place. Here's Fardy on a charge though. Fergus Fardy's up to second, third, second. He's gone around the outside. He's going to go around the outside for the lead. He's watching Barry Rabbitt's coverage of the Leinster Trophy a few years ago. Fardy on a massive charge here. The Meath man round the outside.
Yeah, that's and for the back row of the grid, Shane Rabbit are still trying to get that car off the line. They only have a couple of seconds, I suggest, because the cars are making their way through the S's now. They probably will do it just in time. Calf muscles burning, I'm sure there.
Shane Rabbit's on a massive charge. I assume that's what you meant by your tyres. He's absolutely flying. He's taking heads like there's no tomorrow. Look at him on the left of your screen, going back to the outside. A real racer, Shane Rabbit. Going to have another go here. He's having a go. What's he, fifth? Oh, somebody's down the road. Fergus Fardy. He needed a day like this, Fergus, didn't he? He's had a bad old run. Yeah,
this is ideal weather for the single-seaters. The power really doesn't matter as much. It still helps on the straight, of course. And now down the inside, Michael Roach having a go at Tom Cochran in the big radical. Shane trying to tuck in there as well. Oh, Michael Roach goes around. Shane avoids him, and Roach just tags Cochran. So one each side of Michael Roach. So he's pointing the wrong way. He's kept it going, which is easier said than done. I think I've seen someone disappearing off left up the escape road too, Leo.
Yeah, there's all the action. That's Roland Doherty. He drove so well in race 1. He's going equally well in this race too. Yeah. But Shane Rabbit on a big charge. Sylvie Mullins just gone through. There's our leader.
Sorry, Tom Cochran in the radical has pulled in, maybe as a result of that contact with Michael Roach.
Yeah, just went around on him there and he stopped. Sylvie leading. Shane Rabbit second. Roland Doherty third. This is great stuff. Shane Rabbit, if he gets a result here, we can use your headline, Barry. You know, he's third, is he?
He's third because up front is Fergus Fardy in the F3, just gingerly making his way out of Southside corner. Then it's second place, Sylvie Mullins. Then Shane from the back row of the grid in the little Renault. He'll be absolutely loving this. He was
for Daniel Fardy there having a look at Tony Green, and Tony in trouble. Not sure what the problem is there, but not showing much pace at all. Waves yellows down at turn 1.
Yeah, that's to do with the Tom Cochran car who's parked on the exit, really more like turn 2, but that's showing yellows there on the way in, so that's cut off an overtaking point for us.
There's Sylvie Mullins out to turn 3, the new Boss Ireland lap record holder.
So interesting to watch the lap times now as they get the first full lap on the way. Up front though it's Fergus Fardy. He's away and gone, but I think the battle is definitely on for second. Shane Rabbit now currently in third, but is closing in Sylvie Mullins by a good rate of knots in the Formula Renault, the palletstorage.ie.
Look at Roland Doherty. I'm really impressed with Roland. He's done a whole lot of racing, and he's really having fun. I spoke to him at lunchtime, and as I said earlier, I spoke to his parents, but Shane Rabbit on a massive charge. If Shane gets up any more places, we can use your headline for Autosport, Barry. Rabbit throws cat amongst pigeons.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right, got plenty of animals into that one, but look at him, he's right out, he's closed now. There's nothing that he can do here on the straight. He just has to try and hang on till he gets to the twisty bits. And late on the brakes, down under the bridge. Sylvie covers the inside line a little bit, and Shane looking for the grip around unusual lines here in the dry, get a little bit of sideways, just enough. Carry it through turn 2 now as they make their way down again. The bigger engined Gould car, Red Bull coloured car, will pull away from Shane down into the first part of the country. This is where Shane should make up a bit, and you can see it closing there right in front of your eyes, closing a few car lengths down. Sylvie off the apex, and there's not much in it really when you throw a bit of wet into it, is there?
No, he's closing away. Sylvie's doing well to control that 600 brake horsepower, but Shane is ragging the far lower powered Formula Renault, but he'll be really enjoying this one, Shane. He loves the single seater. He had to go. He's a former Irish touring car champion, of course, in the rotary engine Mazda, but he's certainly not afraid of this car. Roland Doherty hanging on there too. Yeah. Shane has a lot more experience than Roland Doherty. I know he's in an F3 car, but that's nowhere near state of the art car. So these two guys are certainly the stars of this so far. Taking nothing away from Fergus Fardy, but he's a former champion in this class. We'd expect him to go that well. Oh, it's Fardy, Mullins, Rabbit and Doherty.
So last time round it was both Sylvie and Rabbit in the 62s and Fergus in the 61. So Fergus definitely quick, and Michael Roach has spun now again. Their earlier race 1 winner has spun it up at Southside, but again kept it going. Hopefully he doesn't bog down in the grass there. He doesn't, he keeps it moving. Sylvie now, that's Fergus coming into the F's. And Sylvie making his way through turn 3, starting to maybe just hold that gap or pull it back out a little bit from Rabbit. So Sylvie getting a feel for the conditions. Maybe just the tyres coming in, or just literally getting a feel for it. Meanwhile, no one's anywhere near Fergus Fardy as he makes his way into, through and out of Southside corner. absolutely perfect. Staying off that typical racing line where the rubber has been put down and has gone slippy. The fresher offline tarmac, it gives you definitely a bit more grip. Again, now we have a look at the lap times. I think Shane Rabbit's closed up another little bit. We'll have a look. Yeah, 2 or 3 tenths there for Rabbit, but of those 3 that are fighting for second, it's Roland Doherty who's quickest on a 62.4. 4 tenths quicker than Rabbit, who in turn is 2 tenths quicker than Mullins. So bit of a battle on here for sure for second and third on the podium.
Fergus Fardy doing really well here. He's got the head down. His last few races, as you said, Barry, he's like maybe lost his way with setup or something, or just struggling a little bit, because we know he's pretty quick. He's done really, really well in this car. So it's great to see him get this run. And there's Shane still hanging on, just trying to close that gap. But 2.8 and a 2.3, so half a second quicker last time around with Sylvie, I think. Yeah,
Sylvie getting a little bit balked there by Eamon Madison, who stays out of the way. Shane treads the needle through the gap, and that's given him a few car lengths on Sylvie, who just had to hesitate that little bit. That'll give Shane a little bit of a spark to close up. You can see him, he's much closer again. Oh, he's gone too wide and he's gone off into the gravel. And that's going to be the end of that, unfortunately. He just got a little bit excited by closing that gap and just couldn't get the car stopped. That's a pity. That's where
I'd say the tea break at palletstories.ie will be interesting tomorrow morning, Barry.
Yeah, to drive home.
Out with the phone, talk us through this.
What happened, Shane? Unfortunate, yeah, because he'll be disgusted with that. He's done such a great job to get up there from the back of the grid.
Yes, he really has. Yeah. The only thing is, like, I think a race like that is he won't think it at the moment.
No,
it's better than if you're down in 6th and 7th.
Absolutely.
Got the race.
Yeah,
that's a star drive. Like, just went in a little bit. You know what? He got giddy.
He just, as I spoke, he seen the gap closing to him, and he said, "This is where I got to strike."
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was probably a case of braking 18 inches too late, and then once he gets up towards that gravel, it's all
probably
it's
destroyed
all
your wets there, Barry.
That's my wets gone. Yeah. Well. They died a good death. That's the most important
they
thing.
Sure did. A valiant one. There's speaking of valiant, here's Fergus Fardy. No mistakes for him now. Gets on the bar. Car beautifully set up for the wet. The pit board telling him you're P1, Fergus. Take her handy.
Well, Fergus, as we might remember, Fergus came to a stop on race 1 just on the way into the S's. It was a broken throttle cable. So throttle cables being the order of the day here. We've seen Aaron Cochran, Shane out of the car. That's the most ejected look you'll see. The front left just stuck. I'd say there's not actually any damage there. Unfortunately, it's just in the gravel and going no further. But what a show to get him up there and trust it. They're my gloves too, actually.
I wouldn't be lending him anything, Barry. Still, it was great to watch. Gave us good entertainment, and it's something like that in the last race of the weekend will keep you going for next year. The sun's out again, Barry. What's happening with the weather here, Mondello, today?
It's really
You're the
strange.
Mondello expert. It doesn't usually change this many times.
No, and it's coming from different directions. Normally, it comes from over down at turn 3 there. That's generally where the weather comes from. But it seems to be coming in from more over the last corner or the second part of the S's today, which is unusual. So
Michael Roach is going very quickly there, a lot quicker than the cars in front, and he's almost caught Tony Greenan.
Yeah, 63 dead versus a 67.
4 seconds quicker, yeah.
Yeah, that's just experience, I think, Leo. As we said earlier, Greenan, his first season of racing, that's his first time in the F3 in the wet weather. And it's not as easy as it might look from the outside.
Here's Sylvie Mullins on the main side. Watch the white car behind Sylvie, though. Look at this. It's Roland Doherty again from Adair in County Limerick. Comes from good stock. His father was a rally champion, of course, and he's here today. Star James' mother Miriam, and they're having great fun. So great stuff from Roland Doherty. He's learning his way and getting quicker and quicker. And as I said earlier, he made a change to the car and made a big gains with it. But he's all smiles when I talk to him at lunchtime. Another man enjoying his motor racing.
Yeah, well, that's what we're all here for. And Roland's a new and very welcome addition to Boss Ireland this year. And there we are, nice tracking shot of him making his way through turn 3.
I don't think he had any choice. I think he was press ganged in by Donald Griffin and Paul O'Connell.
That's normally how we get them, all right, yeah.
Yeah, there's Eamon Matheson going through another great character. He puts a lot of time and effort into that car. There's too much power perhaps for these conditions, and he's dropping back, but Eamon is really, really quick competitor. Yeah,
fantastic. A somewhat home-built car. It's a Jade sports car up until just behind Eamon's head, and then it's completely his own design and work thereafter. It's got a 2-litre Honda engine with a turbocharger the size of a Guinness beer keg, so it puts out somewhere north of 800 brake horsepower.
He was telling me he could get his engine builder told him he could map it for 1,000 brake horsepower,
wow.
But he can't get a gearbox that'll take 1,000 brake horsepower.
Yeah, I mean that's like 1,000 brake horsepower. That's Formula 1 levels.
Talk of 170 mile an hour, 168 mile an hour into the hairpin in Kirkstown. Would that be right?
Another little bit on top of that.
Really?
Yeah, 187, Leo. It's been clocked out on the way in, on the data logger. 187 really? Into the last corner in Kirkstown.
Brilliant.
And it does every bit of it. It's a very impressive piece of machinery, but maybe just not cut out for today's weather.
Definitely not cut out for today's weather.
So we've 10 minutes gone, just under 5 minutes to go. We'll have a quick look at the lap times. It's 60.9 is the best time that Fergus Faherty has done, but he's circulating some 2 seconds off that at the moment. So it is dry. It's not drying, but the wet tyres may be starting to give up a little bit in these conditions. They don't like getting dry track because they'll overheat.
I was thinking the same, but there's still big rooster tails out of turn 3, Barry, when any car goes through there. There's a lot of standing water at turn 3.
Yeah, and of course the drivers will be hunting that out if they feel the tyres going off and getting that little bit too hot. But we've got a little bit of a battle going on there, going through the S's. It's recovering Michael Roach, race 1 winner, who's having a bit of a dice there with Daniel Faherty.
There we go.
4th place, there they are.
Great stuff, we just captured that one. That's just changed, Barry, coming up out of turn 3. We did say he was on a bit of a charge, but he's absolutely flying. That's Mick Roach, isn't it? Just past the Faherty. It's not showing on the top left of the show now as he goes by. Yeah,
we'll see a swap there between 4 and 5. There it is. So 63.5. So let's have a little look. Mick had two offs earlier in the race, so it's very much a recovery drive. He's back up to 4th.
Sylvie Mullins faster than anyone that lap. 61.4 as opposed to a 62 dead for Fergus Faherty, but Faherty is way out in front.
Yeah, Faherty has, well, it's not even coming up on the screen. That's how far away he is. It's still showing 1 lap. It's got to be about 10 or 15 seconds.
I love the pit crew, Barry, giving Sylvie the big wind up. Go on. If they're watching the lap times here, he's too far back, but he's quicker than the leader, like now not turn around.
Yeah, he's 1 second, and it was an 8-second deficit, a 9-second deficit.
Barry.
So, yeah, Shane looking a little bit dejected. He'll just be annoyed with himself, Leo. That's the worst of it. There's no one to blame, and you're just thinking, I just had to break that couple of seconds.
So, Barry,
earlier.
are you going to put the arm around him, or are you going to slag him?
Oh, slag him, obviously. Yeah. I know.
Proper motor racing.
Yeah. No, it's tough. I know. I feel for him because we've all been there, unfortunately.
The Gravel Trap at Dunlop, we certainly have. Yeah. Many years ago.
Not always pointing the right way
these days. Speaking of that corner, look at this. Fergus Faherty taking it easy now, winding it back, which is exactly what he needs to do. He's way out in front. Sylvie Mullins is not winding it back. He's still having a go.
Yeah, let's have a little look at the lap times this time. So a 61.7. So maybe it's drying up just that little bit. The times are starting to fall again. Let's see what Sylvie has done. A 60.9. So one second near enough out of Fergus that lap. So that brings the gap down to still 8.9 seconds with only 2.5 minutes to go. So barring a mistake or a mechanical issue from Fergus, I think he could have it in the bag.
Right, towards the end of the season, in all the classes, ZETEC comes to mind, but you've seen the novices start to go really well. And I'm not suggesting that Roland Doherty's a novice, but he's new to single-seater racing at Mondello Park. He looks like he's going to get an overall podium here today.
Well, the real sign, Leo, is that's probably his best result in the trickiest conditions of the year. Really, so that just shows you what the drivers bring to the party. The Boss Ireland, by its nature, is a lot of different type cars, different performance. So not always easiest to see the best drivers shine through, but in conditions like this, it definitely skews the ratio between driver and car, and that's what Roland is showing today. He's not got the most powerful or the highest grip car out there, and he's up in 3rd place.
And of course, we got to mention Paul O'Connell. Of course, we haven't mentioned him all day, but he's got a podium, came 2nd place, I believe, in Monza.
Yeah, I think 2nd in Boss GP.
That's the stuff of dreams, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Go to Monza and get the podium.
It's
not a bad day out for Paul.
Barry, you and Paul used to do, what was it called? Ask the Boss. What was it called?
Who's the Boss?
Who's the Boss? Is there any chance that might come back over the winter?
Yeah, we did it during COVID when there was nothing else going on.
Brilliant.
We did it whatever, I think it was Tuesday or Thursday, I can't remember, one of the evenings, and we interviewed all the drivers and people involved with the class, past, present, and future, you could say. So. Yeah, it was good fun. Did it over Zoom and broadcast it on Facebook, an hour, 2 hours once a week.
3 hours sometimes.
3 hours, depending on who the guest was, of course, and how much liquids.
I was going to say, I thought one of the drinks company might have sponsored it for you.
Yeah, they did well, wouldn't they?
They did well out of it, yeah.
There was a few glasses of wine consumed, and a few of them which only added a little bit of flavour. But yeah, it was good fun.
At a time, Barry, when we were all nailed to our couches, it was very, very welcome entertainment. So well done to all involved there.
Yeah. So we're back doing what it was good fun, but it's we're here to go racing ultimately, and that's what we're doing today. And there goes Sylvia across the line just for
61.4 that time as opposed to a 62.6 for the leader.
7 seconds in the difference, but there's just 11 seconds to go, Leo. So they're basically on their last lap.
Yeah.
We wait Fergus to make his way out. There's Tony Greenan in the McLaren liveried F317 Delara making his way down through turn 3. We'll look to pick up the leader, Fergus Fardy. He should be somewhere nearby. I'm going to find him out the window here. He should be somewhere around the same place on track. There he is, making his way through the S's and up to the last corner in the blue Navy machine. What a way to finish off the season for Fergus. He said Leo, he had a little bit of trouble earlier, but putting it right now. Car number 5, little flash of flames as he goes down the box and makes his way through south side corner. Gingerly, I'm sure he'll make his way to the pit wall and receive the applause of the team and those helping him out. Checker flag, there it is for Fergus Fardy. Crosses the line, nice slow lap towards the end, and sees at home ahead of Sylvie and the Gould in second.
Yeah, and here comes our final podium finisher. They'll be delighted with this one. Out of Southside Motor Factory's corners, no mistakes, no sideways stuff. There's James Doherty on the pit wall. Roland Doherty comes down to take a very impressive third place overall. He'll go back to Limerick a happy man. So great stuff from Formula Boss Ireland once again, and great entertainment in very, very difficult conditions. In true Mondello spirit today, certainly it looks like the Bahamas out there very at turn 3. You get a pair of Speedos, you get a suntan, whatever's happening. The sun is blazing down out there now.
Yeah, you wouldn't know whether to go with the smoke or the clear visor, would you?
No. I never had that back in my day anyway. We got to say a happy birthday to Jack Horrigan, who sent us a message here. He's down here today. He's 14 today, and he's down watching the ICCR. So happy birthday, Jack Horrigan. You're very welcome at Mondello Park. Here's Fergus Fardy in. That really was inch perfect, Barry. Normally somebody wins a race in the wet, they look a little bit on the edge or sideways. None of that. That man was on rails today.
Yeah, Fergus did the hard work at the start, got the head down, got the few quick laps in and opened the lead, and then just basically consolidated for the rest of the race, which is exactly the right thing to do. You get no extra points for winning by a bigger margin.
There's Martin Daly, great supporter of anyone racing in single seaters. I was a great chat with Martin earlier. I haven't seen him in a while, and I said I haven't seen him in a while. He says I've been at every race, but I think I have a feeling we might see him back in a car again. At
Martin's buddy of mine. We live basically in the same village, and call in for a chat every so often in his garage there in Dunshaughlin Motors. But he's he always knows what's just come up for sale on Race Cars Direct or the various websites, so that's normally a good sign.
If we had a best dressed prize, he'd win that as well.
He's always well turned out. Yeah. Good man, Martin. He's a great addition to circuit racing in general.
Well, there's Sylvie coming in. There's Roland Doherty coming in right behind him.
The P1 2021.
Yeah, that's pit board there. It's just showing that he's won the championship this year. Well deserved. Man, it puts a lot into it, Sylvie Mullins.
Yeah, and I won't say self-built car, but definitely a self-developed car. As we mentioned earlier, he's got Formula 1 engine in the back, Formula 1 front wing. He's slowly morphing his Gould Hillclimb car into an F1 car with various appendages and engines. So it's and it's working. Doesn't work straight out of the box. It's not as simple as just I'll buy a wing and stick it on. He always has to work at it and adjust and change, because everything he does makes a difference somewhere else on the car. Upsets the balance. Or I know one day he had a problem with overheating because the front wing was diverting the air away from the radiator intake. So it's not just as simple as bolting the bits on. A bit more work to it than that. But good to see. There's Shane getting dragged out. He'll know the lads in that Jeep today anyway. That's the second time they've had to get him clear, unfortunately.
You again, your man says. That's exactly what he said. He just pointed and laughed there. We know this, lad.
Yeah. That's a pity. He was lining up there for a second or third place from the back of the grid in the little Renault, which is unfortunate, but he'll be back to fight another day. What
happened to your car with the turbo adaptation, Barry? Did you stall that project, or?
Yeah, I've just been fortunately very busy work-wise the last year or so, and it's just kind of got put in the back burner a bit. So, yeah, trying to figure out my plans for next year. The car is advertised for sale, so we might sell it and have a look at maybe just upgrading to something else, or we might if it doesn't move, we'll put the turbo on hopefully over the winter. And
brilliant.
It's getting fed up being passed on the straight, so I have to do something.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, some of these cars very, very quick. The class has moved on an awful lot. So you see that in the lap times and everything else. Yeah, like
it's currently at the stage where a 51 doesn't guarantee you the front row of the grid, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. You'd be disappointed if it was a 51. So
honestly, that's proper quick.
Yeah, getting moving, but yeah, we'll see.
A few of the cars taking a chance to just get across the track while there's a gap in the traffic. Next up will be the Irish Auto Parts.ie Future Classics Racing. So we're just going to have a look at an incident that happened earlier, and it's kept the stewards and the officials busy. Barry, you're a tin top winner, a championship winner in tin top C4. Your take on this one will be quite interesting. There was two cars came together in the Fiesta ST championship earlier on. Here we come. If you watch Dara Denning at the top of the screen and Michael Cullen on the inside, Dara Denning right down the outside, gets by Cullen, gets alongside Dave Maguire, a little bit of a hop. He goes wide here, right out, no room left, comes across here, and Cullen spins across the front of Dara Denning's car. What's your take on that one, Barry?
I'm going to sound like I'm sitting on the fence, but I really would like to see it again. Maybe the guys key it up. It's just, it's very hard to tell. I don't want to jump to conclusions just yet, but I think it's into little nuances there. Let's we got a slow-mo. So the white car on the left of the screen is Cullen, and Denning has actually gone around the outside of him, and in fact going around the outside of Maguire. Now, Cullen will know where Denning is going to end up on the outside. Denning can't get it back in. He's just a little bit offline. Cullen right underneath the back of Maguire. Let me see, this is where they start heading for the same part of the track. Now, the real key here is, what does Cullen do with the steering wheel? Is he going right or is he going...
It's hard to call,
It's very difficult to see without an onboard.
The reason we're showing that one is that Dara Denning got a penalty for that, and he appealed to the stewards, and they've just given us... this is the working of a race meeting is so good now. We get these decisions. And personally, when I saw it, I thought that Michael Cullen had given no room on the exit. Actually aimed towards the curb on the left. But you can see there that he was still in front, and Dara was rejoining the circuit. And the officials and the stewards have said that Dara rejoined the circuit, and Michael Cullen was already on the circuit. So I suppose you can see both sides. But
I don't think there's anything malicious from either driver in it. But the thing about it is, you can say that Cullen should have went to the right to give room. Well, first of all, he's not necessarily obliged to do that, especially if Denning is coming back onto the track. And secondly, the physics of it is going to push the car left anyway. So you can turn the steering wheel to the right as much as you like. The car is still on that trajectory out to the exit curb. I don't know. It's racing incident, really, I think, when it comes down to it. But unfortunately, Cullen came out the wrong side of it. And as you said, if Denning is rejoining the track, the onus is on him to do it in a safe manner.
Well, the officials have said careless driving in that one, and they've given him a 3.5 second penalty. You might wonder why it's 3.5. Well, that's because that puts him 7th in the race, which means he doesn't
outside
gain
the top
from
six.
from the reverse top 6. But it will give us more entertainment. I'm sure he'll feel a little bit aggrieved by that, but I think we could see both sides. Isn't it brilliant, Barry, to have a saloon car expert like you up here to be able to just communicate with See It Live and watch it back, and for the stewards and officials to give us the paperwork here?
I was actually surprised when you put the paperwork in front of me to see it, because it's to be, like you said, Leo, to see all those different parts of the mechanisms working and be able to comment on it with slow-mos and replays. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. You know, that just shows how the ICCR works, I think, and everybody working together, pulling the same direction. Same with the timing guys. They're able to put the penalties from Future Classics straight up on the screen.
Yeah, so you can see the real...
tell us what the outright lap record is, and it's just for communication purposes, it really is good. But so that's what happened in the ST race. We will be back racing very, very shortly with the Future Classics class, who won't, Barry, you'll confirm this, I'd say, have to worry about a barrier time in these conditions. No,
definitely not. And I think they just have the one set of tyres, so no wet/slicks negotiations or
flat to the boards.
Decisions. Just go for it. So yeah, that could be interesting. Might have a slightly different result to normal.
We might have. Well, there's loads of messages coming in from a load of people out there who are watching this. We want to Brian Matthews from Patch Tire Equipment and Brian Sexton from ITCC both have man flu. They're both saying it's man flu anyway, but they're not here and they're watching at home. And of course, young Ollie McHenry was watching earlier. That's Barry John McHenry's new
that's
edition.
Right, the new arrival.
Yeah.
Yes, another generation along the lines.
We were only saying at the last race meeting, we've got the Dennings coming along, the Turleys coming along, we've got Victor Cullen, and now there's a new wave of them because you're producing.
My little boy Kyle is here today. He's 2 next month, so yeah, he's taking it all in. He knows all the cars already, so we start shopping for carts shortly, I think.
A bit like Bobby Barrable, Rob Barrable's young fella. He's just seen his granddad win the ZETEC Championship.
That's great, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
Fantastic.
And he's an expert already and mad into it, so that's another generation coming there as well. But anyway,
good stuff. I'm going to leave you to these, Leo.
Thanks for your help, Barry.
Get the debrief from Shane as to how it wasn't his fault.
Oh, let us know.
Okay.
Send us a WhatsApp and we'll see what the story is. Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys, take care.
Thanks very much, Barry Rabbit. So we're back to tin tops for the last 2 races of the day. Last 2 races of the season, unfortunately.
We still have the 6 hour.
We still have the 6-hour Fiesta race. That'll be a good, I was going to say session, that'll be a good race as well. That starts at midday and runs until 6 p.m. So it gets dark about 4 in November. So the last 2 races with the headlights on in the dark. A lot of tactics involved. All you need is a ZETEC Fiesta to the ZETEC safety technical regs. That's all you need, and you and your 3 mates or you and your 4 mates can have a go. There's always a big rush looking for those cars this time of the year. There are a few around, it's just a matter of finding them. I don't think there are any for sale on Dundee or anywhere at the moment, but
I'm sure you know where there's 1 or 2.
Well, I have 1 or 2, but they're full already. I've loaned one of my cars to the Strikers, who are going to, Andy Dalton and the guys, and VW Vinny are going to have a go at that. So that'll be entertaining. The Striker guys can socialise like no others, so they'll make a great gig of it. They're going to arrive on Thursday for that event. But yeah, watch out for that. Mondello.ie for details. ICCR.ie if you fancy going racing. Just click on the class you like. It'll tell you about the class, it'll give you the regs, and it'll tell you how to go racing, how to get your licence. You get onto motorsportireland.com and you order a starter pack. I think it's only €10. I might be corrected on that. And the starter pack will give you a number which allows you to apply for a licence, etc. So if you want to join these guys on the grid, you know what to do. Gary Duggan weaving around. As Barry said there, they don't have slicks and wets. They're on a same tyre, wet or dry.
Well, I don't think there's any fear of them breaking the barrier time in these conditions, so they can have a flat-out race.
Yeah, they can just go for it in this one. It'll be interesting to see which cars go well. I would have thought the Punto and maybe the Clio, the light front-wheel drive cars, would be the cars to have, but you just don't know.
And the MX-5 got a great start in the first race, but went off in the first corner, but he's back on the grid.
Yeah, it's great to see. That's Eugene McCann, or Janie Mack as he's known. Janie Mack. He got a bit of a shunt, just missed his braking point slightly and couldn't stop it. And he made contact, not as hard as it looked, apparently, on the telly with the car directly behind him, the Punto of the local man, Daniel McDonnell. He's actually a pilot. So he hasn't been doing much for the last year or so, I suppose. So we're getting back going now.
Oh, it looks like it, and hopefully so.
Aer Lingus, I think he's with. So let's see if he can make a flyer of a start. That sounds like something Matt Feeney would say.
It'd hardly take us away this afternoon. Bring us somewhere nice.
Nice Court Hotel later on. Gary Duggan on pole. Ger Byrne alongside him. Richard Chaddock next up. Eugene McCann, Paul Flanagan, Daniel McDonnell, and away they go.
Yeah, 57 stalled on the line.
Ger Byrne, but he catches it there pretty quick and gets going. So we're down to the first corner now. And down the outside it's Chaddock in the Civic. And down the outside and heading for Coffee Zakara. And digs into the gravel, just a little bit too late in the brakes there.
That'll be a safety car for sure.
Yeah, it will be. They'll get that towed out pretty quick though. Look at that in the background. The Mazda unit, I think, is already on the way. Let's have a look. It is. There it is at the top of the screen. I think those guys know when there's going to be somebody off. Look at this. They're down there already. They'll come into the gravel with that car, or the pickup, 4-wheel drive, hook it up and away they'll go. Now the officials have a choice to make here. I would imagine they will go with a safety car. Let's see. There's certainly yellow flags out. Yep. Yeah, the safety car's being dispatched from under us, so the drivers will see the safety car. They've got a little SC board all the way around the track. Every marshal's point has one. So great to see. We made an appeal through the ICCR for new marshals. The last race meeting inundated with new marshals, and it was great to see. We had almost twice as many as normal. And I noticed, I was down at lunch, Jim, in the paddock, and I saw one of the more experienced marshals going over to the Fiesta that's out there, the Fiesta unit, and pointing out the bonnet pins and stuff like this to a newbie marshal. It's great to see it because we've got some great experience there. Oh, Tomas O'Rourke on a bit of a flyer. I'm not sure if he's seen it just yet. Big lock up there from Daniel O'Donnell, that is, or Daniel McDonnell, sorry. So a safety car. So they're still trying to remove that car. Could have sworn that had a bumper on it a minute ago, Jimbo.
I don't know, I was going to send it down the bucket and spade there for the play.
Yeah, it's gone in very deep, isn't it?
It's
so yellow flags will also be displayed when the safety car is out there.
The 4x4 must be pretty good to be able to pull cars that are beached that deep in.
Drivers are well trained. John Rock used to be a master of it. He can go across the gravel top, hook up a car and just very little revs and let it do its own thing. If you light it up, I think it can probably sink, which is not what we want here today. The gravel tops get a lot of work. They get a lot of raking, and if you let weeds grow into them or let them stay static, they won't work. They won't grab the car on the way through, so that's what happened.
And the sun beginning to set here now, and it's going to be in the driver's eyes as they head down towards turn 3. little bit of spray would probably make visibility very difficult.
So the car's just tailing around. That guy there, that Repsol car, beautifully prepared. That's Donald Cullity, and he's in the slightly slower or more standard class. He generally gets a win, and not too many of them out today. Gilbert Clancy, Stephen Healy, and himself are out in this Future Classics class, as opposed to the front guys who are in the Super Future Classics class. Safety car's still going because they're having a little bit of trouble extracting that car. It's gone in really, really deep, and they may have to use, there you go, they're using the teleporter to get that out. So that'll get that car out of the way, and we will be able to go back racing, probably inside a lap here, Jim.
Yeah, definitely. Do any of the cars ever make it as far as the bank, Leo, in turn 1?
No, we were talking about that during the week. It has happened, but it's very, very rare. The gravel trap will nearly always catch them. You know, if you went down there without braking and went in, you might, but even then, the gravel traps are refreshed and refilled quite a lot, and they're very, very, they work really well. Famous last words. I shouldn't be saying that on a race day when it's a little bit greasy out there, but no, they work very well.
Sometimes you see the bikes clear them, and sometimes you see the bikes that they clear the gravel trap, they'll hit something and go flying through the air. Obviously the bikes are way lighter than the cars.
Yeah, no, the cars, especially the saloon cars, will dig in. Sometimes the single seaters with a flat bottom can be in a bit of bother, but they generally will. Gravel's quite loose, as we said up top. As we said earlier, that BMW, if you want to drive that car at Mondello Park and drive it properly, you come down here, get onto mondellopark.ie and book yourself an experience. You can drive the new Porsche Caymans, you can drive all the BMW M cars, right up to the M8, which we have here with over 600 brake horsepower. You can drive our new Ferrari 430 and the Ferrari Thrill Experience. You can also drive single-seater cars. If you've seen Formula Shane cars down here, you can drive them here as well. We've got a full fleet of them. You can come down with your mates and see who's quickest in those cars. We've got Mazda saloon racing cars. You go out in them with an instructor first, and then they'll transfer you over to Formula Shane single-seater car for 10 full laps, either on the loop or on this national circuit that we're using today. So a lot of activities can be done. We're a little bit busy at the moment with all those during the week. A lot of stuff on, a lot of corporate business down here at Mondello Park as well. Of course, if you want to launch an event or just give your employees a night out because they haven't done anything for so long, contact us at Mondello Park. That's Gilbert Clancy, unfortunately, getting out of that car. Is that down at turn 3? It is. That's going to slow us again. We've just taken the safety car back in.
It's going to go back out again.
Oh, I'd say they may have to stay back out. The green flag is ready, but that car's on the track out at turn 3. Yeah, the drivers are going to go back racing. They're ready to go. But no, safety car again. The safety car, oh, good stuff. Look at that. Safety car sprinting down the pit lane to go back out in front of them. That's good management, Jim.
Absolutely. Spot on, whoever's clerk of the course.
Yeah, that really, normally now I would have expected to see the cars start racing and then suddenly stopping, but William Kellett, I think that has got the nod, and he gave it to it. Did you see the speed of the BMW there leaving the pit lane? So he got back out in front of them again. The marshals have been told to take in the boards, back out really quickly. So reacting well to that fact that nothing that driver can do, Gilbert Clancy. The car's obviously just stopped on him, and no power, no drive to get it off the tracks. The marshals will have to push it probably onto the infield, I'd imagine. And
probably the worst place in the circuit for it to stop.
It's pretty hilly. So he's out of the car. But I wonder, maybe the snatch unit might have to be sent down. Hopefully we'll get racing. Just one more race to go after this one, and that's the season over.
They're all doing a lot of looking at it, so obviously something
I wonder if suspension broken or wheel gone off on the other side or something.
The driver's walking away, so he's not even going to get pulled back with it.
Yeah, there's the safety car going by again. There's the safety car, lights still flashing, not coming in this lap obviously. There's the snatch unit that's been sent down again. We're putting some mileage up on the little Mazda pickup this weekend.
I might try and enter them to that unit the next time.
Yeah,
more laps than anyone.
Oh, the teleport is coming in. I think you're right there, Jim. It looks like there is a problem with that car on the far side. Yes, snatch unit's down there, but I think it probably will need the teleporter. And so that's a shame.
7 minutes, 50 seconds to go, so we're probably only going to get a couple of laps of this race.
Yeah, and it's Punto O'Barrett's all the way up front because Daniel McDonald is up to second place, but Tomás O'Rourke is a danger man there in third place. Very, very experienced guy. Started racing here in the late 80s in a 1.3 Corsa, his dad's old fuel-injected Corsa Sport, and he moved up to Group N, 2-litre saloons, won the championship outright, went rallying. He's done a lot of racing, a lot of rallying, Tomás O'Rourke. and just out for a bit of fun because there hasn't been any rallying for a while. He came down the last time and really enjoyed it. He said the car is a bit too much rally spec, too high and a little bit too heavy, but I think he's lowered it down a little bit. Let's see how he does in these wet conditions. Mini Keane O'Brien right at the back, brand new build. Mickey O'Brien's just built that car, just haven't even tested it, I don't think. Just giving it a run today.
And the teleporter's going to have a little run to see if he can get in under that Integra. It's quite a shame for some of these drivers if the race is going to end under the safety car. They really haven't got going at all. They've only got 6 minutes left. And you were right, Leo. The front left wheel has appeared, so the wheel had come loose or broken on the Integra. That's why he couldn't go any further.
Maybe that's because he put an Integra wheel on a Celica.
Is it a Celica?
It's a Celica, indeed it is.
Yeah. We should have went to Specsavers then, shouldn't we?
Yeah, no.
Maybe I'll go on the way home.
That's unfortunate, but it's far better happen on a warm-up lap, something like that, than it is in a race. Such a shame. There's the safety car going through. Okay, the lights are still flashing on the safety car. Now the car's been removed. Safety car probably up the pace a little bit. Lights will go off. What do we get, 5 laps, Jim?
Well, I don't think so. It's 4 minutes to go now, 4 minutes 50.
Could be 2 laps. By the time they get round here and start another one.
That could make a very interesting little sprint.
It could do, because surely Daniel McDonald will fancy his chances in this one. He's at a similar car in front of him of Gary Duggan. Then who's next up? Tomás O'Rourke, watch out for him. He'll throw caution to the wind, guaranteed in this one. I'm not sure what the pace of that car is like compared to the Puntos. Watch the lights on the roof of that car. They should go out any moment now. They're still flashing on the roof. Coming down into Bridgestone corner. Bridgestone, supplier of the Potenza Sport to the BMW M cars down here in Mondello Park. Their new tyre. Yeah, the lights are off. The BMW's gone and left them. Good luck. And Gary Duggan now weaving around. He can go whenever he wants, remember, but Daniel McDonald's not going to do what happened earlier on. He's right on his back bumper. He's certainly not going to let him away. Sitting there in second gear, I'd imagine, just waiting for him to try and make a jump. In fact, they're all a bit closer this time. Tomás O'Rourke holding back. I'm sure there's tactics there. He's trying to get a run at these 2 Puntos, is he? There we go. Oh, it's cost Tomás O'Rourke strongly. He's lost himself a load of time there on the way up the hill. So it's Duggan. He makes it back on the brakes, though, doesn't he? He's very late in the race. McDonald goes sideways, but hangs onto it beautifully. Stands on the throttle there. A bit like taking off in a crosswind, Jimbo, perhaps. Absolutely. Big armful of opposite lock there. And hangs on to second. O'Rourke in third place. Aidan Byrne and Paul Flanagan next up. So Aidan Byrne looking like he can win the championship with a finish here. I think Aidan, he's down the outside of Tomás O'Rourke on the brakes, though. The big Celica, he's so brave on the brakes, Aidan Byrne. And that car is definitely not the lightest car on the grid.
No, and look how bright the sun is, Leo. It's blinding those drivers as they head down towards the turn 3 part of the circuit.
Well, it's punt up. Oh, look, it's Tomas O'Rourke with a run here, and in the Honda, just really loads of pace, drives by. That man was never short of commitment, and he just launches it down the inside there. And I think McDonald, knowing well that he's better off let him by. I wonder, can he catch Gary Duggan here? Bit of understeer for O'Rourke in the Honda.
I think he can with 3 laps, I'd say.
It doesn't look that quick sometimes, but it does actually. It's just it waits till it gets going, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's off cam when he comes. Maybe the VTEC doesn't come in for a while when he comes out of the corners, or else it's struggling for traction, which is probably more likely. Maybe he's getting a bit of wheel spin. Let's watch that they go through the S's and into third gear.
Well, they never really got any racing laps, so the tyres were not up to temperature anyway at all. So
yeah, the main straight will tell a lot here, I think. He's very good on the brakes. O'Rourke up here closes Duggan down. But we saw in the first race, Jim, that Duggan's got loads in reserve in a straight line. So this will be interesting as the Honda goes at him.
Pulled away, look.
Yeah, Duggan's pulling away from the Honda. And the two of them driving away from Daniel McDonald, who's going to be going, what's happening here? O'Rourke again going back at him on the brakes, but it's going to have to be imaginative here, which Tomas O'Rourke always is. Somebody spinning there, that's Cullity at the last corner, but the battle is at the front in this one. O'Rourke second. Hammond with a lot of damage on the Uno. A lot of damage on the Uno.
Yeah. And Keane O'Brien looks like he's a retirement off camera here as well.
Yeah, coming down the pit lane. Look at O'Rourke now, he's so brave down into turn 3. Duggan moving around left and then right, trying to block it. O'Rourke giving him a little kiss on the back bumper perhaps as they get down into second gear.
Just to say hello.
Yeah, and Duggan gets unsettled on his own, stands on the power. O'Rourke surely should be quicker up the hill. He's not as a result. He puntos very quickly straight line.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. O'Rourke later again on the brakes again and closes in the Civic now all over the back of the Punto. McDonald's taking him the whole lap to get up to them, but he just can't stay with them in a straight line. Duggan now sideways coming out of the S's. Whoa, that's well held. It's not a comfortable place to be. Armful of opposite lock in a front wheel drive car. O'Rourke up the outside now. We'll be looking to come back to the inside. We're watching a straight line.
Oh, and Duggan goes around.
He does, very sideways. O'Rourke with nowhere to go except the grass. That's where he goes. He doesn't lose too much time. Goes to the inside to go defensive straight away. Daniel O'Donnell should be past him, is he? Or McDonald, sorry. And he is. O'Rourke going to try and go back down the inside, but there's nowhere to go. And that could be the end of this one, I think. Checker flag next time round, I'd imagine. Look, Tomas O'Rourke was looking good there, but in fact he was being a bit too gentlemanly. Duggan got sideways and he gave him enough space to collect it up, but cost himself a lot there. Sideways again, O'Rourke and Aidan Murren having a look at them. They're pushing hard, all these guys. The car's moving around in wet conditions, really on the limit. Look at this, O'Rourke again. He's so quick on the approach to turn 3. But McDonald closes the door, or does he? No, O'Rourke down the inside, gets the nose down the inside. Good move. Little bit of door handle contact, but no dirt. Oh, McDonald sits around the outside of him and they're side by side. They've caught the leader. This is the final lap, surely it is. The checker flag is ready behind us. Duggan under big pressure. Not sure what happened. McDonald down the inside for the lead.
Duggan surely has a sideways.
O'Rourke around the outside of everybody. Oh, Duggan slams the door shut. O'Rourke takes to the grass again. This is incredible stuff in Future Classics on the run to the line. Why is Duggan going so slowly? They've suddenly caught him. There's a problem. Oh, that's a bit rough, I think, from Duggan there. He just turned into Daniel McDonald. And McDonald around the outside. Duggan again into the back of him. There's no need for that, really. And Daniel McDonald has the lead, but he's on the grass. O'Rourke gets a run up the inside. The checkered flag is ready. It's going to be the local man. Daniel McDonald takes the run. Duggan in second place. And O'Rourke in third place. It was a little bit rough in the last few corners there, Jim, but great entertainment.
I wonder what happened to Duggan's car. It looked like he'd lost all power, and then on the last straight there, it came back.
Yeah, not sure, but fantastic stuff. Nobody will be happier than Daniel McDonald, and I think potentially the group heading for Nace later on is now +1, because Daniel McDonald will be keen to celebrate that win. Hard fought, and great stuff from the Future Classics. Shortened race, but great stuff. Daniel McDonald, a local man from just outside Richardstown, I think it is, in Clane, takes that one. He's an airline pilot. And he did a really, really good job there. Gary Duggan hangs on to second place. Tomas O'Rourke, highly entertaining, in third place. He's a great addition to Wexford Man to Future Classics in that Honda. The Honda doesn't look like it's not exactly a ballerina, is it? The twisty bits.
No, he's not afraid of it either. That's for sure.
Yeah, he was inspecting quite a lot of the grass there. There's Gilbert Clancy's Celica. The wheel just off the hub is still on it, I think, in the disc. But anyway, he's coming back towards us now, and then we'll be ready to go with the last race of the weekend and the last race of the season. Graham McDonald's Coffee to Go sponsored Fiesta ST Championship. Great entertainment earlier, of course, and we can expect more of it now. Starting on pole, I think it's going to be Max Turley. Indeed it is. Jack Byrne alongside. Then it's Kevin Doran. Dave Maguire, Eddie Peterson, new champion Graham McDonald, Dara Denning with a slap on the wrist, Trevor Farrar, ready to come back towards us. Denning back in 7th place, so that penalty that would have put him exactly back, so he wasn't included in the top 6 switch around. So the officials being careful with how many seconds they give him. They give him 3.5 seconds, which put him back to 7th place, which means he starts 7th. He doesn't get, if he was 6th, of course, he would be starting on pole, in race 1, that is. So here he comes.
It wouldn't be much of a penalty to put you on pole, would it?
There's William Kellett jumping out of the safety car, having a quick chat with Dara Denning. They're both instructors at the Mondello Experiences down here. They'll be having a good old chat. And William offering a little bit of advice, no doubt, to Dara.
And the track is beginning to dry in a lot of places.
It is.
I'm not sure it's going to affect the result of this, but...
So this is great stuff. There's our grid, Jim. It's Max Turley on pole position. Max Turley, a name that really has come to the fore this year. Well, the surname is well known to us at Mondello Park, but Max has driven superbly. He's been right at the front in a couple of meetings. He's smooth, he's aggressive, he's progressed very, very well. Jack Byrne is next up. Jack Byrne is actually very, very young, and he's the reigning Ginetta Junior champion, but he probably has more experience than Max. He's done lots of junior rallycross here. He's very good at that in the ZETEC Fiesta. He won the Ginetta Junior Championship. He does a very professional job. He's sponsored by West Wales Rally Spares, by FMK Rust Proofing, David Byrne Auto Repairs, James Travers Garage, O'Brien Cement. We can see them all. He has a little stand in front of his car where he displays the names of all his sponsors. Kevin Doran, he said he's down on power today. I spoke to him at lunchtime. And Maguire, Peterson, the new champion Graham McDonald, Dara Denning, the man to watch, Trevor Farrar, the Farrar Motors car, Churchtown Motor Company car of Grimes Jr. and then Kellett, Johnny McCarthy, Ross Barnes in the Barnes car, Victor Cullen and Michael Cullen and Kieran Larkin, and that's it. So the two Cullens right at the back, Victor and Michael Cullen. Victor's had a bit of an up and down season, but came to of age really last time round.
And if you were a betting man, who would you be putting your money on this one? Max Turley firing that Fiesta around there, trying to get some heat in the rear tyres. Jack Byrne lines up behind him in 2nd position.
Just getting ready to go with Fiesta STs. No podium presentations, please, guys. We're not allowed to use the podium. No podium presentations, please. Our ST's getting ready to go. Jack Byrne is a man to watch. Is he on the outside? Max Turley won't give it to him too easily.
Max Turley gets a great start there. Jack Byrne's been swamped by David Maguire, so it looks like David Maguire got the whole shot into turn 1 in that red car. And it is Maguire. Can he hold on? Oh, he gets a little shove around, so Maguire gets shoved down into, he's about 5th now after that little kiss.
Peterson now sideways, end of the rack stuff for him, but the auto tester pulls it back, and Denning is the main beneficiary there, and he's now up there. Denning going really well, keeping the nose clean. Look at Maguire down the inside of McDonald, I think that is.
Denning up to third, Leo, that's fantastic.
And having another look down the inside, great stuff from him. He takes second place down the inside. Denning, he'll be on fire today after that decision earlier on. I'm sure he won't be too happy about it. Peterson on the grass, Max Turley on the grass. Around goes Dave Maguire there, just gets fired around whatever happened there. And we might look at that one again. I'm not sure what happened, but Denning is absolutely on a flyer here.
I think he got helped around anyway. It wasn't a choice manoeuvre. He got helped around.
No, he certainly didn't pull the handbrake. But look at this. Kevin Doran be loving the wet conditions because he's a bit down on power today, told me at lunchtime. He said, you will see an uber defensive race from me. It's him, it's Denning, it's Jack Byrne, it's Peterson. Is that Ross Barnes next up? It is. Ross Barnes flying now in the car number 44. He will be loving this one. He's got Max Turley behind him. And then it's one of the Cullens. Is that Michael or Victor? Let's have a look when they go by. Of course, it's Michael Cullen. From the back of the grid, good stuff from Michael Cullen.
Made 10 places on the first lap.
10 places, Michael Cullen. We'll have to have a look at his onboard. That'll be worth watching. Brilliant stuff from Michael Cullen there. The Beacon Sports Clinic car. Oh, Peterson again. Oh, surely it'll go around. It will. No, it won't.
No.
There's the auto tester.
How did he hold that?
5 Houston Championships. That's how he held that one. That car was going backwards at one stage. Some recovery there from Eddie Peterson, but you can't just charge back onto the track. And he gradually gets back on. Oh, there's Dave Maguire, who he was together with earlier on. So the two boys right back there now. Michael Cullen is up to 7th place. Kevin Doran leads. Let's watch the lap times to the end of this lap because the two cars behind him on a big charge. That's Dara Denning and Jack Byrne. Then it's Ross Barnes driving beautifully. It gets sideways. Barnes hangs onto it. Look, it's still very slippery out there, Jim.
Yeah. And there's a bit of a dry line at some of the bends, but most of the circuit is still completely wet.
Jack Byrne next up. Then is it Max Turley? It is. Max Turley, great stuff. He's got by Barnes somehow. I think Ross Barnes got out of shape there at the S. It's Michael Cullen now. Car number 3 right with these two, and Cullen's on a massive charge here. He will want to try and get by these if he can. These 3 cars absolutely together. There they go. Then Graham McDonald staying out of trouble, the new champion. Down in 7th place though, won't be used to that. Barnes on the inside, Cullen on the outside. Barnes hangs onto it. McDonald drawing right up there. Oh, they get sideways and Cullen gets one of them at least. They both get sideways. Cullen drives by Barnes, or does he? No. It's the outside. He can't go around there. Ross Barnes isn't going to back out. He doesn't. He gets a massive moment and hangs onto it. And it was a good decision by Cullen not to go around there because super commitment from Ross Barnes. It's down into turn 3 now. Max Turley, Ross Barnes and Michael Cullen with Graham McDonald, the new champion, right on Cullen's back bumper. Now he's closed them down here. Max Turley a little bit wide there, but doesn't lose any time. He's going nicely, this young man. Dara Denning, Jack Byrne. Then it's this battle: Max Turley, Ross Barnes, Michael Cullen and Graham McDonald.
What a drive from Michael Cullen from the back of the grid, and he's going to have a look up into Southside Motor Factors.
Yeah, Barnes goes defensive, Cullen goes down the outside. Cullen's so late in the brakes, the car moving around under him, weaving around, tries to switch back. He was famous for this back in his Mondello Saloon car days. Can he make it work here? I think he can. He's got up the inside of Barnes, yeah. Oh, super stuff from Michael Cullen. That's textbook Mondello manoeuvre there, down the inside, and nothing Barnes can do about it. He can go back at him on the brakes though, that's what he tries to do. No gap there, slots in behind him. Graham McDonald right behind him, his teammate now. Then it's Gordon Kellett flying today. Then Farrar, Johnny McCarthy, Victor Cullen in there too. Great battles on this one. But Cullen is tearing up through the grid. He started stone last, he's 5th. Down into turn 3, all very experienced. The depth of talent in this grid is just huge. There are so many quick drivers in this grid. But how Michael Cullen got up there with the car intact so quickly, I'll never know.
It actually looks like there's no damage on it at all. So
he's done well here. And Doran is quick enough to hang on here. Denny can't close that gap. And Jack Byrne going nicely in 3rd place, trying really hard. Then Max Turley, out onto the curbs. Great stuff. Good commitment from Max Turley. Driver that's progressed superbly this year. Doing really nicely. And Cullen next up. Here they come. It's Doran, Denning.
Denning just posted the fastest lap, Leo, on that lap. 1 minute 10 seconds. He's 4/10 quicker than Kevin Doran ahead of him. That's a good lap from Denning. Very good lap. Could be telling as they go by us. There's Turley, Cullen. Ross Barnes not letting his teammate by anyway. No Mick Merrigan team orders there. You've already won the championship. I'm not letting you by.
And Ross Barnes having a really good run there in 6th place inside the top 6. Here's Peterson, look, trying to have a go around the outside of Maguire there. Look at this battle though. These two are teammates. The cars immaculately turned out, always. And Mick Merrigan involved with both of them. And there they go, 44 now, just holding the inside line. No gap for Graham McDonald to get by. These two guys no doubt will be out celebrating Graham's championship win tonight. They're great buddies. They have so much fun when they go racing. And I've met them out on a few nights out. They're nearly always smiling. Oh, Denning, so much commitment. There's the curve on the exit. That's hairy in the drive.
He's a brave kid. He's a brave kid, that lad.
Yeah, that's real commitment there. The car's taily enough. And nobody going out onto those curbs except Dara Denning, who's using them all. Let's see his lap time as we go by. Doran's definitely gone a bit quicker here.
Both into the 110s. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And Jack Byrne posted the fastest lap.
Yeah, Jack Byrne a couple of tenths quicker there. 3rd place. Nobody else doing lap times like that. Oh, there's McDonald now pulling out to try and get by Ross Barnes in the background. McDonald on the outside, Barnes on the inside, the two cars together. Barnes goes back at him on the brakes though and takes the place back. They'll be having some messing about this later on. Oh, Gordon Kellett, uber defensive Gordon Kellett. He's always been very hard to pass at Mondello Park, and Trevor Ferrar, I think, has just discovered that fact, as have Johnny McCarthy and about 3 other cars behind him there. Gordon inside the top 10 this time, going nicely. Oh, Cullen with a big lunge down the inside. Turley got out of shape. Cullen's got down the inside. Max Turley gives him racing room there and carries the speed round the outside. That's good driving by young Turley.
Yeah, and he gave him the space to make his move.
Cullen right on his back bumper now as he goes through the S's.
Cullen vastly experienced.
Oh, he is hugely, yeah. He's been racing at Mondello since from the mid-80s. He had his first race and has raced many things. Look at this. Oh, McDonald's got by, but Barnes has to go up the inside. He's done it. He's just displaced the champion and his teammate. It's a decisive move. Oh, Cullen's got alongside. No, he hasn't. He almost has there ahead of us. Cullen almost getting alongside. Max Turley needs to shut the door. He has only just there. Michael Cullen almost had it down the inside. He's very composed, Max Turley. I'm not sure if I'd be that composed if I had Michael Cullen behind me. Just as I say it, a little bit sideways. Cullen gets alongside. It's a race to turn 2. Turley doesn't back out of it again. Very impressive stuff.
But nice driving by both of those guys. They gave each other plenty of room.
They did. Cullen's on the inside now, and there's probably nothing Turley can do about this one. Oh, he thought about it. He's sitting around the outside of the first bit of turn 3. It's brave stuff.
I know who is to Michael Cullen. He's still giving them all the room.
They're not out of the corner just yet. Yeah, they left him a little bit on the curb, all right. They headed out of there. But Max Turley, no shortage of commitment either. You're doing well to sit around the outside of anybody in these greasy conditions at turn 3. Closing up a little bit up front, but Cullen should be able to get away from that. But look at the battle behind these two. Top of the screen. Look, it's still Barnes. Oh, sideways. McDonald trying to get down the inside. The back end of the car getting away. Ross Barnes has it covered. McDonald back to the outside. The two coffee to go cars and Barnes Auto House. They're absolutely together. And Ross Barnes will be loving this one if he can stay in front of Graham. They're both closing in on Max Turley now as Cullen begins to ease away.
And Jack Byrne posted the fastest lap again on that last lap, 1 minute 9.
Yeah.
So he's 4 tenths quicker than anyone.
Yeah, it's closing up front, isn't it? There's Max Turley now under pressure. Just 8-wheeled coffee to go machine behind him because these guys are embroiled in a battle. And even though they're battling, they've closed down Mark Turley. Graham McDonald cannot seem to get by Ross. Well, he got by him once. Oh, he's down the inside again. Barnes just closes the door. Oh, sideways stuff. Carries the speed out though. That's good stuff from Ross Barnes.
Look at the gap that Cullen has pulled already, Leo, in maybe a lap and a half. He's pulled maybe 2 seconds.
Yeah, it disappeared up the road. He's really on a charge today, Michael Cullen. Barnes down the inside, hangs on to it. He wants to attack Turley, but he also wants to hold on to his place behind him. These 3 cars still absolutely together. Cullen has just disappeared up the road in 4th place. These are the leaders again, and Dara Denning is close enough. Good stuff by the directors. Dara Denning close enough almost to have a go at Kevin Doran. Now Kevin Doran reckons he's down on power, Jim. How long have we got to go?
Well, we're all in the 109s now, and we've got 5 minutes, so we've got a race on our hands, I think.
We have, and Kevin Doran will know that as it's trying out that power deficit, if there is one, will come into play. There he goes, full commitment. These two guys are both really good drivers to watch, but always on the edge, really pushing hard. And it's great to see Kevin Doran, a great addition to the championship. He's always bang on the pace, gets in trouble from time to time. He's more of a Gilles Villeneuve style, as we said the last time, than Alain Prost. He's certainly well worth watching, Kevin Doran. And he'll be another one heading to Nice if he takes the checkered flag. I would imagine tonight, if this is the last day of the last round of the new ICCR here at Mondello Park. Here he comes for Doran's Hyundai and Suzuki, the main dealer in Droghed's family business. Gets turned in, no problems at all. Denning is inching closer, but only inching, Jim.
Yeah, they're within 2 or 3 tenths of each other. Jack Byrne beginning to get tailed off a little bit in that third position there now.
Yeah, he's not quite there. He was closing them down by a lot, but Denning's the man on the move here, and he's almost close enough to have a look down the inside. Doran doesn't defend just yet, though. But this will be good stuff. Both of these guys would love a win, Jim.
And we've got 4 minutes to go, so we've got at least 5 racing laps.
Doran with a good run through turn 2, eases that gap back open again. Oh, look at this. That's McDonald has got by Barnes and he's got by Turley, so he's finally going to go after Michael Cullen. But this is where it's at. Very greasy still at turn 3. Denning's lost a bit of time somewhere. Here he comes again down into the S's. For a man with so little racing experience in a Fiesta, I'm hugely impressed with Darragh, and he's also running the car himself this weekend. So up against a lot of very experienced drivers, a lot of very experienced teams. So it's good stuff from him, right out to the curve again. As is Jack Byrne behind him, and still trying to close that. They're all on the limit. You can just tell by the body language of the cars.
A lot of bragging honours for the last race of the year.
I think all 3 of them will be happy with this. Jack Byrne has been a revelation in the class. He's already had 2 wins this year. Very, very competent young man, very polite young man. Presents his car beautifully, and he'd be delighted with another podium position. But Kevin Doran would just want to win because he's been off the pace there and he's not used to being off the pace.
Well, he's certainly not off the pace now, that's for sure.
Yeah, the greasy conditions doing a lot of good for him, I think, and Darragh Denning can inch up to him, but it's just so close between the 2 of them.
What would be a really good dry lap time for one of these, Leo?
105, low 105 is the quickest they've done. Oh, look at this, McDonald's caught Cullen from, oh no he hasn't, sorry, that's Victor Cullen, and these 2 have history. Victor Cullen and Gordon Kellan. Gordon Kellan up the inside of Victor Cullen now on the way down the main straight. Victor trying to shut the door, just about squeezes across. They have come together already this season. So Victor on the inside and Gordon Kellan on the outside. Getting away just a little bit there. So here we go. Look at this for the lead. Denning even closer, if anything, Jim.
Absolutely, and Denning right on the back door now of Kevin Doran as they come out onto the start-finish straight. We've got 2 minutes to go.
Kevin Doran goes through. He's worth a follow on social media, Jim. Do you know what he did during the week? He built a Fiesta ST van and drove it to the Nürburgring to see what lap time he could do around. Drove it back yesterday. And, on Friday came testing, and he's here racing this weekend. That'll show you the enthusiasm of Kevin Doran.
That sounds like he needs to be hanging around with us a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's a great story. Have a look on his, find him on Instagram. Kevin Doran, he's well worth a follow. Has travelled the world many times as well. Denning with a big run though on him down into turn 3 through the first apex. Doran just stays in the centre of the road, no heroics. Just wants to park the car wherever Denning wants to be.
The glare of the sun between the road and the cars is blinding some of these drivers, I'd say.
That's not a sentence we thought we'd be uttering. Denning almost has a look down the inside there. Doran just slams the door shut at the last minute. Go through the S's now, 2nd gear up into 3rd gear. We'll certainly have another lap after this one, and Denning again using those curves on the way. He's just not afraid of them at all. Doran's very confident though. He doesn't block, goes late as he can, turns in as late as he can, gets on the power as early as he can, and Denning can't quite make a run at him.
Doran got a great run that lap. He's onto the start-finish straight. He's pulled 2 lengths on Denning.
See how late he turned in and how aggressively he turned in. He goes almost off the track on the outside before he gets it turned in. Oh, big go down the inside from Denning.
It's a long way back, Leo, from that one.
Yeah, I think once they get into 3rd gear, I think Denning is getting up to him there. Certainly a little bit quicker. And Jack Byrne's not too far away now. Byrne quicker than both of them last time round. A lot quicker.
I'd say this is going to be our last lap. We've got 30 seconds to go.
Somebody go down and rob the checkered flag off that man, kick him into Shane or something, and let's let these run for another few laps. They can't end the season too soon. The 3 of them are together. What a climax for the last race of the season. The coffee to go. Fiesta STs here at Mondello Park for the ICCR, and this just shows you how successful the ICCR has been. Denning's got the headlights on. He's flashing them, Jim, as they come down into the S's, but Jack Byrne wants a piece of the action. Denning's gone wide. Byrne gets down the inside. That might have decided this race.
I think that's going to let Kevin Doran off the hook. The 2 guys are going to have their own little battle out, and Kevin Doran's got a clear run up to Southside Motor Factors for the final time.
Jack Byrne's so late on the brakes. He's out-braked Denning, but Denning's back on the inside. Will they give each other room? I think they will. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Who's going to get it? Jack Byrne right round the outside. What a manoeuvre. Kevin Doran takes the last race of the year at Mondello Park. Jack Byrne with a great manoeuvre takes second place in the final corner, and Dara Denning in third. 3 fine drivers there, Jim.
Absolutely, and very clean race, I must say. They didn't give each other a hard time. They loads of room.
Fourth place now. Watch this. These two wouldn't be bosom buddies. Cullen just about holds off Graham McDonald there. Those two guys have been together. They were the championship protagonists all year long. There they go. Michael Cullen, what a race. All the way from the back, charging up to 4th place. So he would really have enjoyed that one. Graham McDonald looked like he was taking it easy for the first half of that race and then really started to have a go. So great stuff from the Fiesta STs. The coffee to go Fiesta ST class. That has been absolutely wonderful. Jim, you might give us a rundown of the top 10 there.
Kevin Doran won from Jack Byrne in 2nd position, Dara Denning in 3rd, Michael Cullen 4th, Graham McDonald in 5th, and Graham posted the fastest lap on the last lap of a 1 minute 8.721. Max Turley was next along in 6th, Ross Barnes 7th, Johnny McCarthy in 8th position. David Maguire led early on but was finished up 9th, and Trevor Farrar was in 10th position. So I'll hand you back across to Leo to close off.
Well, there you go. We introduced this show this morning and said you'd get great entertainment. I suppose I was hoping there was going to be great entertainment. I didn't think it would be quite this good. Everybody's excelled. We've had wonderful racing today, and that signifies what ICCR has been all about. The officials, the marshals, the drivers, the teams, the team organisers, all the sponsors we've had on. It's been a wonderful season. I'm a big fan of circuit racing. I'm very proud of what's happened at Mondello Park this year. Mondello Park and Motorsport Ireland have come together to form this ICCR association. The guys who did the promotion work have been absolutely wonderful. The guys in See It Live, you're watching now, have given us brilliant coverage for the last 2 race meetings. It's actually encouraged more drivers to come onto the grid, and there are more new Fiesta Zetec and Formula V drivers and some of the other classes as a result. So I really hope, you probably hear it in my voice, it's been a very enjoyable day here at Mondello Park. The marshals and the camera crew, thank you so much. It's been a rough day for you guys. It's been the camera, somebody nodding from behind the camera here. It's been very, very tough conditions for the See It Live crew and for the Mondello Park marshals, but they've excelled themselves today. So thank you so much to everybody who was involved. I hope you've enjoyed the racing as much as we have. If you're thinking about getting involved, ICCR.ie, click on that, click on any of the classes, they'll give you the full information. Motorsportireland.com is where you get your license or your starter pack. You can be on the grid. Otherwise, come down here on November the 7th, have a look at the Fiesta Zetec 6-hour race. Great fun, real family affair. As its name suggests, it goes on for 6 hours. So that's the last race here. We'll have some rallycross and some other things. There's always something on. MondelloPark.ie will tell you. For more information on racing, ICCR.ie, and maybe we'll see you on the grid here at Mondello Park in 2022.